that video and I had to end stream early. So yeah. We're gonna, just to make up for it, we're gonna watch that video today. I will see you non-sub sea angels in 3 minutes. Let's go here. Let's go here. I'm closing this game. I would like to play this game again. If you guys want, I will do a poll in my Discord server, and we'll see if I play this game again. We'll see. But let me put this on. Let me put this on while we wait for the ads to end. And let me close my totally real GameCube. That was fun. It was fun. I said I was gonna do it for 3 hours. It's already 1. I said I was gonna do it until 1 p.m. Let's change the title. Let's change the title. Yes. Let's change the title. Zelda Arts plus Zeltick Watch Along. I had fun though with the game. I just didn't want to like do that for 6 hours straight. 3 hours is good enough to do that. Let's go. Let me get my art out. Let's get my art out. Do I have my art from yesterday? Yeah. Here we go. Maybe I should finish my Cosmo art. Let's go over here. Oops, you guys can see that. I didn't mean for you guys to see that. You guys shouldn't see that. Even though that doesn't do anything. But I would like you guys not to see that. Also, I forgot to change to art. I changed the title, but I forgot to change the art. Arts. Here we go. Let me find the video we were watching yesterday. Let's find that. I found it. Alrighty. We got here. We got this. This is where we left off yesterday on the video. I am so great at streaming. Look at that. I am great at streaming. Let me repost my going live notification, and then we can start arting. Cause no more. I'm gonna get an ulcer if I do that for the rest of the stream. Let's let me just repost this instead. Welcome back from ad hell. Thank you for waiting. I'm so sorry. At least we beat 1 campaign today, and I'm still gonna keep going. I'm just gonna be doing something else. We're basically doing like 2 streams in 1, because yesterday I did not finish this video, and we were watching this video yesterday and theorizing what we're doing with the Ocarina of Time remake. For those who don't know what this is 3 hours of Ocarina of Time lore, theories, and trivia. There is no certain order that you have to watch this. So yeah, feel free to stay and jump in at any time. Don't feel like you're behind on anything. It's all like all the facts and stuff about Ocarina of Time you learn is pretty random. Yeah. Oh, Sophia got to post her pride art on Twitter. I post that. I repost that. All right, let's get into it. Let me take this. Yeah. This video was posted right after the remake was announced on the Nintendo Direct on like Wednesday. He was ready. Man's had this ready since the leaks. This is a 3-hour long video. Let's get back into it. Should I volcanic pit, but is eventually... I'm gonna restart this part that we're doing because women, just to make up for running away yesterday after I spilled juice on the floor. We're gonna replay this part again because I want to see the hot women. Please stay for hot women. Of countless terrible acts, but one Yay, women! The rest. The twins raised Ganondorf as this part of the video, this segment of the video, we're learning about Twin Rova. Yeah. Gerudo women who raised Ganondorf. Yeah. Now, why is the video loading? I fucked with the video too much. Sea angels, look what you did. Look what you did. Look what you guys did. I love Twin Rova. Shame she doesn't appear often. I know, right? I know, right? I love it when women. I like it when my video doesn't load like this. I was fucking with it too much. Okay. Here we go. Play the video. Here we go. There you go.
Ocarina of
There you
Time
go.
marked the first appearance.
Let me change my model, by the way, too. No more gaming.
Brutal leader of the
No more gaming,
Gerudo
Peach.
tribe. But in truth, the Gerudo had been ruled in
I love when
secret by
women.
another older evil.
Let's
for
change to
centuries.
art.
The twin witches, Kotake and Koume, controlled their tribe from the shadows, using magic to extend
Women.
their lives well beyond.
If you don't like them in both forms, you have no taste.
The sorceress of ice and the sorceress
You
of
gotta like
flame,
both the
but together
abuelita
they
and
formed
that
Twin
form.
Rova,
Oh, look at her.
a powerful being with
I mean
mastery over
them.
both elements.
Wait, why am I still
The pair
gaming?
are guilty of
That's not what I was supposed to do.
terrible
I'm not
acts,
supposed to be
but
gaming.
one stands out above the rest.
Supposed to have my art
The
tablet out.
twins raised Ganondorf as his surrogate mothers.
And drawing.
Today, let's look at the history and lore of Kotake
Yeah.
and Koume, the Gerudo
I love when
witches.
women.
The origins of the witches is a
There we
mystery,
go.
but we do know that they were born around.
Do you guys hear
400 years
everything
before
fine, by the way?
events of Ocarina of Time.
Do you guys hear everything
They're
fine?
Gerudo. They belong to a
Let's learn
tribe
about
of
women.
powerful warrior women to whom a male
I put it a
is
little bit
born
louder
only
for you
once
guys.
every century, a man who will become their king. In the years before Ocarina of
You
Time,
guys can see everything
Hyrule
fine.
was swallowed
Okay.
by a war that lasted an age, known as the Hyrulean
Thank
Civil
you,
War.
thank you.
Little is known for certain about
It is
this
the
war,
Vanquished
except that the
123.
Gerudo and the Hylians were on opposite
Yes.
sides, and the conflict finally ended with Ganondorf
Can you guys guess who
swearing
I'm
fealty to
drawing?
the king, placing the Gerudo Desert
A
under
woman.
his control. The war was violent and bloody, evidenced by the Shadow
I wanna draw a
Temple
version
and the
of this with
atrocities
Sheik.
committed there by the Sheikah. Hyrule Historia
love
states
my
that
gender
this war
fluid
lasted
princess.
for countless eras, and Ganondorf was
I'm
still
drawing
young when he
Tingle.
surrendered to the king, which
I'm
suggests
not
that the
drawing
fighting
Tingle.
between
Does
the
that look like
Gerudo
Tingle
and
to
the
you
royal
guys?
family went on for years before
Galupa.
Ganon's birth, which means that the origin of Twin Rova is clouded
Oh, they're
by
such
war.
baddies.
Much of
Look
the
at
twins'
them.
400-year lives were during
Hi,
this
Optimus,
conflict, and you
welcome.
can assume that many
Hello,
of them were
hello.
spent secretly
Tingle with the
governing
booba?
Gerudo tribe from
That's
afar,
not
and that they had
Tingle.
a greater influence
You
on the
know
war than
better,
almost anyone
Vanquish.
else. As
Where's
the
my
covert
where's my
leaders of the
pen?
tribe, it's no surprise that when Ganondorf
Guys, I
was
lost my
born,
drawing tablet
the child
pen.
was theirs to raise. It's unlikely that the
great.
pair are in any way
Where did it
related
go?
to Ganondorf.
Oh, it's right here.
Neither are his biological
Thank you
mother.
for the lurk
They just raised
nickname
him
live
as their
stream.
future
Thank you,
leader.
thank you.
By the time of the events
Enjoy.
of Ocarina of Time,
I need to
Kotake
calm
and
down from
Koume
that.
are ancient, shriveled
That
figures.
fighting game,
Their
it was
lives
really good.
artificially prolonged by
Godzilla
magic.
was really good.
The Hyrulean
but
Civil War has ended.
I'm gonna get an
with the
ulcer if I
Gerudo
do that for
Deserts
3 more
now under the
hours.
control of the king, and Hyrule unified under one banner. Much of the
Oh.
Gerudo tribe now follow Ganondorf
Welcome
and
to the
worship him like a
subbies.
god. But not all.
Thank you for
Noboru,
gifting subs
the
again,
Gerudo's
Vanquish.
second
I
in command,
appreciate it.
hates her king.
If you guys
She
did get a
explains that
gifted
while
sub,
she and her
I have a
followers
poll
are
going on in my
thieves,
Discord
they
server
believe
for what we're
Ganondorf
gonna
has
watch
gone
after
too
we're done with
far.
Sonic
He
Boom.
steals from women and
Feel
children
free to vote.
and murders without
Right now,
second
Sonic
thought.
Underground is
The
winning, but
Gerudo
I also
kings
have
operate
Totally Spies as an option because I never watched that before, and I
out
want
of
to see
the
women.
Spirit Temple,
Women.
using it as a base for him and his followers.
I've never
which
watched it. I
included
wanna see what's up
Kotake
with
and
it.
Koume. Noboru plotted to sneak into the Spirit Temple, to steal treasure and to interfere with Ganondorf's plans. She intends to steal the silver gauntlets, which would allow her to access the deeper parts of the temple, but is ambushed by the witches, who imprison her with black magic. Around the same time as this, Ganondorf pledges his loyalty to the royal family, but in secret he attempts to extort the spiritual
see what
stones
fish
from
you
Hyrule's
get.
various races by poisoning gods and cutting off food sources.
Why are
He
we
eventually
poisoning
manipulates
God?
Link, the young child
They're
of a woman
poisoning
who fled the
Godzilla.
fires of war, into collecting these sacred stones and
Can't
opening the
believe it.
door of time. While Link himself was sealed for 7 years within the Chamber of Sages,
7
Ganondorf
years.
broke into the sacred realm
I will
and laid
have
his hands
I will
on the
have water
Triforce.
instead of fruit gummy.
For one with a balanced heart, this would have been enough to take control of the artifact.
I have not
but
bought new
Ganondorf's
fruit
heart
gummies
was
yet.
impure, and the Triforce
I forgot to.
shattered,
My last
leaving
grocery
him with
run.
only the piece that he represented
hydrated.
best, the Triforce of Power.
I made
Still,
sure to
this was
hydrate.
an unimaginably powerful tool, with which the Gerudo King brought Hyrule to its knees.
For those just joining, how are you all doing today?
Castle
Oh, so
Town
pretty.
was reduced to ashes, and its people
Darkness
fled
is
to
so
seek
pretty.
refuge elsewhere. But in the 7th year of Ganondorf's reign,
7th.
hope returns to Hyrule. Link was released from the Sacred Realm, now fit to wield the legendary Master Sword and wear the title of Hero of Time. The boy from the forest journeys across Hyrule, freeing the land's temples from Ganondorf's evil influence and helping the 6 sages to awaken and fulfill their sacred duties. This means that the hero eventually travels to the Gerudo Desert, to the Desert Colossus and the Spirit Temple. By jumping back through time, Link, as a child, helps Naboru steal the silver gauntlets to break into the Spirit Temple. But the warrior is captured by
my
Kotake
kitten is
and
sleeping.
Koume, and
Reorganizing
she
my
remains in
action
captivity
figure
for
collection,
7
which is
years.
38
During
figures.
this time, Naboru is
Let's
brainwashed
go. I also
by
have
the
a lot of
witches
figures. I
and
need to
forced
share
to
them.
serve Ganondorf against her will.
I have
While bewitched, she
a lot
and
of
gang
digital
thieves
circus anime
terrorize
minis in my
Hyrule,
room right now.
using cruelty and brutality
I might give them
to
away
get
to
their
some of
way.
my friends.
Naboru even experimented with brainwashing people
But I need to do a
herself,
hand cam
acting
stream soon
nothing
where I
like
open
the
all the
woman
other
she once
digital
was,
circus figures I bought.
instead as Twin Rover's puppet. This
I
torment
bought like
continued
$300
until
worth
Link
of stuff from
returned
the
to the
goods
Spirit
store.
Temple as an adult, 7 years after he met Naboru there as a child. He battles his way through the Gerudo Shrine until he comes face to face with the
Desi Spark,
witches
welcome.
who pour over a
Hope you're doing
peculiar
good. Hope you're
iron
having a
knuckle
good
set on
day.
the throne. The pair are insulted by Link's intrusion into their temple and decide to
We're-
show him
we're
a
watching
lesson
women.
by releasing the
We're
iron
watching more
knuckle on the
Ocarina of
hero.
Time Lore theory.
Link fights the
Lore
armored
video.
warrior, the clash of steel ringing through the
We're
ancient
prepping-
stone
we're
halls
prepping for the
until
remake.
finally the Master Sword shatters the thick plate and the iron knuckle falls to the ground. The armor crumbles away, revealing not a monster, but Naboru, her mind finally her own after 7 years of brainwashing. The Gerudo commander comes
One of
to
my
her
favorite
senses,
figures I
free
own
from her
is the
iron
Metal
cage,
Virus
but is ambushed yet
Sonic
again by
with
Kotake
Zambu
and
Froggy.
Koume, who plan
Oh,
to
that's so
bewitch her
cool.
once more.
I'm
But this
jealous.
time, Naboru isn't alone. The
That's
witches
very
retreat
cool.
into an ornate chamber,
glad you
followed
have one.
closely by Link. Kotake and Koume are impressed with his tenacity, joking that he's come to offer himself as a personal sacrifice to the great Ganondorf. The pair ready themselves for battle. Kotake is the sorceress of flame and Koume of ice. Using their mastery of the elements, the twins battle Link with magic, but the hero bounces back their spells with the Mirror Shield, a legendary Gerudo artifact. Even combining into a single being, their double dynamite attack isn't enough to stop the hero.
That's Sonic,
who again
one of 2
uses their
action
own
figures is
powerful
based on
magic
IDW,
against
Sonic
them.
the Hedgehog.
And
Oh,
so,
cool.
after 4 centuries, the lives of Twin Rover come to an end. Strangely, for such evil beings, the twins find halos above their heads and bicker amongst
Oh,
themselves.
so they
as
actually have
ascend to the
halos.
heavens. This marks the end of Kotake and Koume. Naboru was freed by Link and awakened as the Sage of Spirit, and the great King of Evil Ganondorf was brought to his knees and sealed in a nameless void. But this isn't the only ending of Ocarina of Time. It of course splits the timeline, resulting in 3 separate branches
So many
of history.
split timelines.
In the timeline following Ganondorf's
And now we have no
defeat, we
timeline.
never hear from Twin Rover again. Though Ganondorf returns,
It's really funny. For those who don't know, after I started streaming, my first game that I streamed was GTA, and then after I played Skyward Sword, that was the first Zelda game I played on stream because it was extra long and I never played it before, or at least I never touched it. I touched like the first half of it. But right after I started streaming that, Nintendo was like, there's no timeline now. And I'm like, what? I was trying to play the first in the timeline. I guess I'll go fuck myself then. Yeah. Thanks, Nintendo. Thanks.
in the Wind Waker, the only mention of his surrogate mothers is the engravings
Why I
on
oughta.
his twin swords. The witches remain dead, defeated by the hero of time. But we do see Kotake and Koume in both the Child and Downfall timelines.
For the IDW action
In the
figures
Child's
that got made,
timeline,
Metal
caused
Sonic,
by Link traveling back in time
Zambu
to before
Froggy,
Ganondorf's
and
betrayal
Tangle.
and
Oh, wait, did I
warning
read that
Princess
already?
Zelda, Link leaves Hyrule in
I
search
see.
of Navi. He becomes trapped in Termina, a bizarre, dreamlike alternate dimension where he eventually meets
that was my
Kotake
controller
and
falling
Koume,
asleep.
though they're not the same.
Let me put my controller
like
in
many
the
of Termina's
thing.
citizens, they share the same faces
Why do they have a
as
shop?
characters from Hyrule.
Those are the
but
only
entirely
2.
different.
Oh, I see.
These witches
Feel
run
free to share
potion
my
shops and
Discord server.
cruises and are kind
There's a
and
channel
friendly,
called
the
Cute
exact
Clutter,
opposite of their
or an
Hyrulean
IRL
counterparts.
photography.
Nothing is known about the
You're not
history
obligated
of
to
these
though, okay?
alternate counterparts of Twin Rover,
No
but they're
one's
almost
obligated.
certainly
I'm
completely
just
different
curious.
people to the witches who raised Ganondorf. However, as the child timeline follows the course of history after Link prevents much of
I
Ocarina
remember
of
you
Time
joining
from happening,
yesterday.
this
Or
means
am I
that
thinking
Twin
of someone
Rover were
else?
never killed by the hero
someone
in the
else
Spirit's
joined.
Temple, and they
Not sure.
remain as secret leaders of the Gerudo. The events in Hyrule between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess are vague, and we're not given many details to work with. What's clear is that with the information given to her by the time-traveling Link, Princess Zelda decided to act, preventing Ganondorf's betrayal and his entry into the Sacred Realm. Many years later, this leads to his attempted execution. Clearly, some conflict occurred between the Hylians and Ganondorf. The Gerudo tribe are notably absent from Twilight Princess's Hyrule, only returning later on in the timeline in Four Swords Adventures.
I have my action figures put away, but I dare you just bought my 3 Sonic action figures in. Is it like Where's Waldo?
Continuing to control
You
their
do a
people
Where's
from
Waldo?
the shadows. This takes us then to the Downfall timeline, an alternate version of history in which Link falls to Ganondorf at the climax of Ocarina of Time, forcing the sages to imprison him within the Sacred Realm along with the entire Triforce. We know that all 7 sages sealed Ganon, meaning that by the time Link was killed, he had
7
already
sages.
saved Naboru and
There's
killed
7.
Twin Rover. But
I
at
always
some
thought there was
point
5
during the
sages, but
long years
then I
of the
forget
Downfall
Zelda's technically a
timeline,
sage
the
too.
witches returned, resurrected
Then
by
who's
some
the-
unknown power. Though their
Is she-
master had
she's
been
technically a
slain
sage,
by a
right?
hero during a Link to the
I'm
Past,
rusty on my
this
Ocarina of
didn't
Time Lore. That's
dampen
why
their
we need to watch
loyalty,
this video.
And the pair hatched a plot to resurrect him.
I need to be
Kotake
the
and
Zelda
Kurume
expert.
summoned 2 powerful demons from the Dark Realm, the dragon
like to think I'm the
Onox
Zelda
and the evil
expert.
fairy Varam,
I'm the
to
Zelda
terrorize the
streamer.
neighboring lands of Labrina and Holodrum. Under the orders of Twin Rover, General Onox captures Din, the Oracle
Okay,
of
posted
Seasons,
the images.
and disrupts the flow of
3
the
in the Sonic,
seasons in
or the first
Holodrum.
image with the most
And
figures.
Varan
Okay.
possesses Nehru,
I can
the
look
Oracle
at
of
it real quick.
Ages, and uses her abilities to travel back through time and
Let's see if
cause
other
chaos.
sea angels
the
can
damage
spot
done
it.
by these demons is enough to light
As long
the
as there's
flames
nothing
of sorrow
sus in
and
there,
of
I'll share it.
destruction, 2 parts of a
I see
trifecta of
Gumby.
sacred flames capable of reviving
I like the
Ganon.
Gumby.
The third
Is
flame,
that what they're
the flame
called?
of despair,
Wait.
requires a
My
sacrifice
time lapse
to
is gonna be
light.
wild.
And so
I
the
keep
witches
putting
kidnap
random stuff
Princess
in Peachael's
Zelda,
eye.
planning to use her life
There's
to
nothing
resurrect their
sus, I
master.
trust you.
This would have happened were it not for Link.
Look at
who
Gumby.
arrived
I see
just in
Sonic.
time
I
to
already see
interrupt the
Sonic.
ceremony. Kotake and Kurume decide
That's
to
his
put
name,
a stop
right?
to the hero
Gumby?
themselves, first fighting him as
My
a
friend has a
duo,
costume
and then,
of
just
this.
like before, by combining
Isn't
into
this
a single
classic
body.
Sonic?
Twin Rover
I see the
again
Metal
uses
Virus
both
Sonic, it's
fire
right
and
there.
ice as weapons,
Metal Virus
either
Sonic.
freezing the
Yes,
sacrificial
it's
chamber
Gumby.
or causing it to erupt
Who
into
is
a
this
volcanic
one?
pit, but is eventually defeated with a mystery seed.
I see
Link had managed
Foxy.
to stop the witches from sacrificing
Sakura
Zelda,
Miku!
but not from completing their ritual.
Optimus
Instead,
Prime,
Twin
let's
Rover gives
go.
up
You
its
got a lot
own
of Transformers.
body, using itself
Base?
as the vessel for the resurrection ceremony
found 2 out
in
of
place
3.
of the princess. What
Ooh, what's the
little energy
Froggy?
the pair had left
Is
is
that Froggy?
extinguished, and their physical body
Is that also a
destroyed,
Sonic figure?
but they succeed.
Who is this guy?
Ganon lives once more. Except
Sonic.
not all of Ganon
They're all
returned.
Sonics. Okay.
By sacrificing themselves
see.
instead of Princess Zelda,
Adventure
Twin Rover
Time.
had failed to fully
Mario.
resurrect their master.
You got
The
Mario
Gerudo
make your
King
figure. Oh,
they
I found it.
raised
It's the
centuries
Flash.
ago was incredibly
Flash.
cunning and manipulative.
I like
as
this game.
intellectually powerful
I
as
won.
he was physically.
What's my
Even
prize?
after obtaining the
I'm just kidding, I'm just
Triforce
kidding.
and becoming a monstrous boar demon, Ganon was
Nice,
still
nice collection.
intelligent enough to usurp the King of Hyrule by using an alter ego to take control of the kingdom.
You know what I
all while
highly recommend
imprisoned
since
in
you
the Dark
have
World.
those
the
things?
Ganon that was revived
Well,
by
you
Twin
have a lot
Rover's
of figures.
sacrifice towered over Link,
I have this
wielding
thing,
his
and I love
mighty
it.
trident and
It's like a
mastery
tier
of
shelf.
magic. Physically,
Figure
he had
tier
returned,
shelf. I don't think it's
but
that
his mind
expensive
was lost.
if you ever want to
The
invest
Demon
in
King
that.
is barely able to string together a sentence and lacks any plan other than total
Yeah, like
destruction.
this.
Though powerful, Ganon was swiftly defeated
Here,
by
let me
Link, and
post
Twin
it here.
Rover's work was undone. Chronologically, the
I
Oracle
highly
games
recommend
are the
one of these
latest
things.
appearance of Kotake and Kurume, a final attempt to continue the work they began centuries earlier in Ocarina of Time. Though they remained
up to
in the
you, though.
shadows for much of
I think
Hyrule's
I got one
history,
for, like,
the pair have had
20
an
bucks or
incredibly
something
strong
on
influence
Amazon.
on the kingdom, from their involvement in the Hyrulean Civil
Then if you get
War
more,
to
you could put
raising
some
the
underneath
Gerudo
it, too.
King Ganondorf. We never get a look at the backstory of these characters. The motivations behind their actions are entirely unknown. Twin Rover are sadistic and devious, traits they instilled in the man they raised. Ganondorf's descent
They got
into
mouth
madness was a
lasers,
fate
I forget
sealed
that.
thousands of years earlier
Look, it's
as the
him,
result
it's
of an
demise.
ancient curse. But
I was
the
gonna get a
women who
glass
raised
shelf
him
just to
are
put
perhaps
them
just as guilty.
with the glass door.
His burning lust for the Triforce.
That's a
and
good
his
investment
desire
too.
for
Those are more
conquest were
expensive
likely
though.
inherited from demise, but
And
his
I'm very
cruel
scared.
cunning and his talent for
I'm
manipulation
so scared of getting those glass ones because I'm scared I'm gonna break it.
mirror his
That's why I got
adoptive
those because they're
parents.
plastic, the tier
Ironically,
ones.
though, for those who were responsible for helping shape Ganondorf's calculating mind, their actions may have destroyed it. Following the oracles in the Downfall timeline, we never again see the cunning Ganon of A Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time. He's closer
not
to
as
a
cunty
mindless,
anymore.
rampaging beast. It's entirely
There he
possible
is.
that
Hi,
this was
Pig Ganon.
because of
Hi,
Twin Rover's
hi,
botched
hi,
resurrection,
hi,
resulting in
Ganon, hi,
Ganon
Ganon,
becoming
hi,
a
Ganon.
creature of purely physical and magical
How are you doing
power,
today, Ganon?
incapable of complex
Look at him.
schemes.
Look at him,
Kotake
sea
and
angels.
Koume were Ganondorf's surrogate mothers, but they
I'll
might
stop.
have
I'll
played as
calm
big a
down. I'll
part
calm
in the
down.
fall of Ganon as they did his rise to power.
No, don't throw stuff at me. See, look, it's broken. That's what you get, because you shouldn't throw stuff at me. The Hatsune Miku you found,
If you
Sakura
played the
Miku,
opening minutes of
is made by
Ocarina of Time,
Blockies, cheap
you'll
print
remember
price,
Mido,
good articulation,
apparently
beginner
the
friendly.
leader of the Kokiri.
Oh, man.
It's Mido that blocks Link from
I'm not
reaching
really,
the
like,
Great
the biggest
Deku
fan
Tree's
of
meadow
articulated
until he
figures,
obtains a sword and a
but
shield, thereby
that one looked
forcing
cute.
new players
That
to
one did
explore
look
Link's
cute.
hometown and become
I want the
accustomed
noodle
to the game's
stopper. Hi,
controls.
Penny.
He's
Welcome.
a fun character.
We're getting up to date on Ocarina of Time Lore. I'm brushing up my
but
Ocarina
that's
of
it.
Time knowledge.
He doesn't serve a greater
Oh no, don't be
purpose
sorry
or
at all.
impacts
Don't
the
be
game's
sorry.
story
I'm
in
gonna
any
fix the
significant way.
ammunition
But
thing.
it seems
I'm gonna
that
fix the
in
throwing
earlier
redeem.
versions of the game,
My apologies.
This wasn't the case.
You're married?
Mido, the boss of the Kokiri,
You're
actually
married?
has a fascinating development
Congrats.
history, because it
I'm
seems
happy
that
for you.
at one point a character named Mido was one of the 6
Mido.
sages who would aid Link in the final showdown against Ganon.
Just
In
jokingly.
the final version of Ocarina of Time, Mido lives
Well,
in
I'm
the
sure it will
Kokiri
happen.
Forest, in the house closest
She's
to the
definitely
Lost
my wife.
Woods.
Hell
The
yeah.
sign outside
It will
reads,
happen, Penny.
House of the Great Mido, boss
Soon
of
we
the
won't be
Kokiri.
joking.
And he
I need to draw
certainly
Zelda's,
acts like
like,
he's the boss.
headdress
He's
better.
known as a meanie and orders
Also,
other
not
Kokiri
just the
around.
from Sakura
Of
Miku.
course,
I
he
also
looks
got my
up
own
to the
Vivid
real
Echoes
leader
Miku.
of the
Vivid
Kokiri,
Echoes
their
Miku's Nelson,
spiritual
may my
father,
Blockies.
the Great
Oh,
Deku Tree,
I'm glad you're
and has
happy
a
with
particular
it.
fondness for Saria. After
It's
Link has
always
shown
nice
him
to
the
have
Kokiri sword
good
and
things.
Deku shield, Mido will stop blocking the entrance to
I
the
gotta
Great
share my
Deku Tree's
figure
meadow,
collection again
letting
later.
Link proceed with the game's tutorial
Before next
dungeon
hand cam
inside
stream.
the Deku Tree, where he slays the parasitic Goma to try and free
Goma.
the Forest Guardian from his curse. Of course, this
Why all of a
doesn't
sudden when I
work.
see
The
Goma, I
Great
got
Deku
hungry?
Tree was doomed from the start.
Okay, here, I
and
fixed it,
withers away
Vanquish.
after
Just for you.
presenting Link with the first spiritual
I'll throw stuff
stone.
at myself.
The Kokiri mourn the loss of
Why are you
their
throwing stuff at
guardian
yourself,
deity,
Peachy? Why are you throwing stuff at
perhaps
yourself?
none more so than Mido himself, who blames
How do I
Link
do this?
for his death.
Ow, you didn't
And
need to do
so
that.
Link
Don't waste your
leaves
money.
his home behind,
Don't
with
waste your
Mido
money.
seeming like little more
Since
than
you're a
a
mod, feel free to
spiteful,
refund yourself.
jealous childhood bully. However, after
You want
the
that right now?
7-year time jump, we see a different side
Wait,
to Mido.
I have
He's
a
not
genius
found
idea.
In the Kokiri Forest. Instead,
This is just
in the Lost
self-cess. No one
Woods,
judge me.
barring the entrance deeper into the grove to the sacred forest meadow. He doesn't recognize Link now that he's grown up. Of course, Kokiri don't
Sniffs
age.
my own
Apparently,
feet.
He promised
Wait, I don't
Saria
have
that
I don't
he
have
wouldn't
noise
let
suppression
anyone
on. Oh, I didn't
pass
have filters
after
on
she
this whole
travels
time.
to the forest temple. Playing
Wait!
Saria's song to Mido
It does look-
is enough to
it does look like I'm
convince him
trying to
that
sniff
Link
my
is a
butt.
friend of hers
No, I'm
and
trying to
he'll
sniff
let
my
him
feet, not my
pass.
butt. Not that
Later,
that's any
after
better.
Link has completed the forest temple and Saria
I
has
don't even have a
awakened as the
nose. I don't
Sage
know
of
who you're calling
Forest,
cochina.
Mido will say that he promised Saria to tell Link that she had been waiting for him and expresses regret at his treatment of the boy without a fairy. During Ocarina
Okay, I'm
of
done.
Time's
I'm done. I'm
end
done. I'm sorry.
credits,
She can go
many
back.
of the game's
You know what? Actually,
characters
she looks like
celebrate
she's
at
having fun on my
Lone
head.
Branch, but not all of them. King Zora and Mido
No, she's
sit
in the way of the
away
lurk
from the
bait. Let's put her
festivities,
back here.
Alone, quiet, and somber.
You're welcome.
These
You're
are
welcome.
characters
Oh, look
with
at
close
him.
personal
He's so large. Oh, this is the end credits scene. You know what makes me really sad? Whenever I see the end credits scene from Majora's Mask because of one particular side quest with the Deku Scrub Butler. Do you guys know what I'm talking about for Majora's Mask enjoyers? For those who don't know, I won't spoil it for you, but it's really sad. And I think the first time watching a playthrough of Majora's Mask, it really hit me. It really hit me.
Alone, quiet, and
What do you call the
somber.
vessel
These are
flute of a woman
characters
named
with
Tina
close
who eats a lot
personal
of
bonds
East
to
African
two of the
vegetable?
sages, King Zora
I don't know,
to his
Shojiko, what do you
daughter,
call it?
Ruto, and Mido,
Please don't
of
ever
course,
change.
to Saria.
I'll
And
try not
here,
to.
though the world is
Look at
saved,
him, he's so-
they
he's
mourn
so
the
cute.
losses of their loved ones.
Akratina
until the light
Ocarina.
of the sages themselves streaks through the sky above.
The Akratina of
So
Time.
Mido has a deeper, more complicated story than most of Ocarina of Time's side characters, showing genuine growth and emotion, and serving to
No, I don't
highlight
like
the
him, he's
impact of
annoying.
the game's story
He literally
on
blocks my
ordinary
way.
people. In a way,
He's
his
so
character is
mean.
effective
You!
because of how
Hi, Bland,
unimportant
welcome.
he is. He's
We're
an
prepping for the
ordinary
new
Kokiri
Ocarina of
left
Time remake
behind
coming
by
out
those
soon.
with
We're
greater
brushing up on our
purpose.
lore
But
today.
this wasn't always the case. There's evidence
While I
pointing
draw.
towards a
While I
certain
draw.
character called Mido in
While I
earlier
draw
versions
Zelda.
of the game with a far more
I'm drawing
significant
Zelda.
role, one that would have positioned him as
Hello,
Saria's
Bland. I hope you're
peer
doing good. I
among
hope
the
you're having a good
sages,
day.
rather than someone left behind. The
Ta-da!
earliest mention of Mido in the Zelda series is
Mido.
not in Ocarina of Time,
Oh,
but
really?
instead in Adventure
I thought-
of Link.
I
The
thought he-
second game
I was
in the
about-
Zelda series is set in
I thought he was about to say Adventure 2. I'm like, what? He's in Sonic Adventure 2? That's part of Zelda? That's part of Zelda lore? You are? Yay! His only reason for blocking you is because you don't have a fairy. Yeah, he's discriminating against me just because I'm fairyless. Is that the same thing as being maidenless for the Kokiris?
an expanded kingdom of Hyrule, and sees Link travel to numerous towns throughout this wider world.
I've never
At the
played
time,
the
names of
classic
these
classic
towns
Zeldas.
didn't
I
mean
should.
much, but when designing
Don't people
Ocarina
not
of
like the
Time,
2D
years
looking one, like
later,
this one
Nintendo
specifically?
opted for some really neat retroactive
No
world
fairies?
building, and
Yo, to
named
be
the game's
honest, no
sages
fairies?
after the towns from Adventure of Link. By doing this in Ocarina of Time, a game which was explicitly stated to take place before A Link to the Past, which in turn came before Zelda's 1 and 2, it implied that these sages were the namesakes
Ah.
of these towns.
Oh yeah, I'd be forgetting
Retroactively,
Impa's a
the
sage
story
too.
became that
Technically,
Raru
Impa's like the
Town was
shadow
named
sage,
after
right?
Raru, Sage of Light, Ruto
Yeah.
Town after Ruto, Sage of Water,
Water.
Saria Town after
Water.
Saria, Sage of Forest, Naboru Town after Naboru, Sage of Spirit, and
Yes.
Darunia Town after
She's a baddie.
Darunia, Sage of Fire. However, there are three
Din is such a
notable
baddie too,
differences
though.
between the names of these
Din,
towns
Oracle
and
of
the names
Ages,
the
be giving me
sages.
that look.
There's the
I need to draw her
absence
next.
of Impa, Ocarina of Time, Sage
Impa.
of Shadow. There's the town
Yeah,
of
Sage of
Kasuto,
Shadow was right.
which doesn't
See,
appear
I
in
know my Ocarina of Time lore.
at all. And there's the
If you like
town
side
of
scrollers, the
Mido.
Adventure of Link is pretty fun. Isn't that
Now,
where
Kasuto is in
isn't that where that iconic theme that's in Subspace Emissary comes from? The one that's like I need to sneeze.
interesting in itself. There are actually two towns
Okay, it went
with
away.
that
It
name
went away.
in the game. The abandoned Old Kasuto and the populated Hidden Kasuto. In some ways, this is similar to Kakariko Village in
Twilight Princess
where we
mentioned.
see a new settlement in the shadow of Death Mountain and the abandoned Hidden Village, an older Kakariko in the
Yeah,
mountains.
Twilight Princess
However,
music, let's
given
go.
that the
We're gonna
name
beat Twilight
Kasuto
Princess
has
tomorrow.
never appeared since in the Zelda
My vanilla
series,
playthrough of
this
Twilight
place
Princess
isn't as
HD.
important. Clearly, its name wasn't
fact, you guys
want
wanna
to
see some
the
art?
sages of Ocarina
For
of
those who are
Time,
new
like
here,
the game's other towns
You guys should
were.
check out my
However,
Midna art
the name
that I won't
Mido,
shut up
of
about because I
course,
love
does
Midna and I
appear
want her to
again
step
in the
on me.
series
You know, in
as the
fact,
boss of the Kokiri, but he's not a sage.
I should have put
In
her
fact,
art
as I
earlier.
mentioned, his
Let me see if I can find it here.
ordinariness is kind of the
When you touch
point
the
of his
overworld monsters, they
character, a
transport
boy
you to
who is left
landscapes,
behind.
including graveyards,
So
to
if we're
fight them.
looking at it
Really?
from an in-universe
like-
perspective,
it's like a
why
Pokemon
would
battle.
a town far in Hyrule's future bear his name alongside
There she
those
is,
of
look
the
at her.
sages? And from an
Behold.
out-of-universe perspective, Why
Oh,
would
shit,
the
she's
developers
behind me.
choose this
She's
name
behind
for
me.
such an unimportant character?
Let me put the full
One
art for
long-standing
those who haven't seen it
theory as
before.
to the identities behind Mido and Kasuto,
Where is the full art?
namesakes of these towns,
The full
is
art
that they were
disappeared.
sages
The full
of
art ran away
earth
from me.
and wind,
Hi, Saluna.
much
Thank you for the
like
check-in.
Makar and Medley in
Welcome,
the Wind Waker.
welcome. I hope you're
These
doing good. Hope you're having a
sages
good day. I'm
exist
showing off my
outside
Midna
of the
arts.
main group of 6 or
Where
7
did my Midna
and
art
serve
go?
to bless the Master Sword with its
Let's see,
power
is it
to
in here?
repel evil. The Wind Waker reveals the
Midna
ancestors
art.
of
I
Makar
have to show off
and
my Midna
Medley
art.
as ancient sages, killed by Ganondorf
Okay.
to weaken the Blade of Evil's Bane, a
We should
Kokiri
fish
named
sometime.
Fado, and a Zora
If you type
named
exclamation point
Naruto.
cast, you
Not
can
only
fish
is
in my
this
chat
pair an
and get art
example
that
of
I've done in the
different
past.
sages, their names,
She's in front of you,
Fado
actually.
and
She is in front of
Naruto,
me.
are very similar to the two
Oh, but
additional
she's behind
towns,
me. Look at the
Mido
little
and
Peachy.
Kasuto. And
This
of
is a little
course,
Peachy
while the
next
Wind
to me.
Waker wasn't planned
That's my
during
human
the
form.
development of Adventure of Link,
Iki drew
in the
it for
same way
me.
that the other towns' names retroactively became references to Ocarina of Time sages, who were later
yeah.
additions to the
You
history
guys should
of
check
this
it out
world. Sages
on Blue
of
Sky.
Earth and Wind
My
should have
arts.
existed
Could
in
pull it up
Adventure
here.
of Link's past too. So
There
why
we go.
not Mido and Kasuto?
You guys can kind of
However,
see it.
this idea ignores the fact that Mido, as we see him in Ocarina of Time,
Oops,
is
wrong
very
chat.
much not the Sage of Wind, or the Sage of anything at all. He's just Mido,
Wrong chat.
yet
It's
his
okay.
name was etched into
No
history.
worries.
This mystery endured for decades.
There you go. Let me put it here.
Until 2021, when a
There you go.
1997
Now you guys can
beta
see it better.
build of Ocarina of Time was
Human,
leaked.
yeah, sometimes
The
I'm
beta
a
build
human.
includes
I'm
image
a
files
human.
with Japanese text
And sometimes I sniff
translated
Midna's
into
feet.
seals.
But also, yeah,
presumably
howdy,
early
welcome.
versions of the
This is my
medallions
Midna
Link
arts.
receives from each sage. As you'd expect, there's
We
Saria's
finished
seal,
this recently.
Darunia's seal, Ruto's seal, Naboru's seal,
I'm watching you
Raru's
and my
seal,
GF.
even
Aw, thank you,
Zelda's
thank
seal,
you.
but not Impa's
Definitely
seal.
prioritize
In its
your
place
GF.
is Mido's seal, suggesting
Mido's
that
seal.
originally he
Don't
was
tell
intended
me.
to be one of the 7 sages.
He lost
And
it to Saria.
interestingly, the position of Mido's seal, appearing after Naboru's
'Cause he was
on
a
the
dick.
list, and the absence of an Impa's seal in this build of the game, suggests that Mido was not
What else was I
just
gonna do?
any
Oh yeah, I was gonna
sage,
sniff
but the
Midna's feet.
Sage of Shadow, and would have been
Now I could do
connected
that,
to the
because the
Shadow
art is done.
Temple.
See,
Again,
look.
This fits with Adventure of Link, which notably doesn't
Okay.
include an
She's-
Impa town.
she's gone
If
now.
we take this at face value, it
We'll
would
see her
seem
again
to
tomorrow.
suggest that Mido originally had a very different, much more important role to play in the story of Ocarina of Time. One that would have seen him involved with the Sheikah, with Kakariko Village,
Oh,
and the
really?
horrors that lie beneath it.
I don't know about all that.
But this doesn't
I just find him
confirm that
annoying.
this original Sage of Shadow
'Cause he be
was
blocking my
this
way. Look at
Mido,
that. You see
the
that?
boss of the Kokiri,
He got nothing
as he
better to
appears
do.
in the final game. In this 1997
Doesn't let me leave 'cause I
build of
got
the
no
game,
fairy.
The character model for Mido exists, but is only referred to as the Z-targeting tutorial Kokiri. It's entirely
Z-target-
possible that the Mido that would have given
keep
Link
forgetting
this
Z is
seal
Z in
was a
British.
different character entirely. Perhaps a member
In Spanish
of the
is
Sheikah
Zeta.
tribe. And when they were cut,
Zeta.
their name was assigned to the Kokiri leader instead. In the end, the mystery of Mido endures. While we now know
The
that the
mystery of
developers
Mido.
had originally planned to name one of Ocarina of Time's sages after Mido Town, and that this
Mido
sage
Town?
would have been the Sage
Where's
of Shadow,
Peachy Town? Where's
we
Peachael
don't know
Town?
anything else about them, or what
Tell
their
me, Sea
story
Angels.
would have been. It is
Who-
possible
which
that
one of
the
you will name a
Kokiri
town after
Mido
me?
was at one point meant to
I
have
would like
a
to
much
know.
more substantial role
It would
in the
probably be
game,
me.
but it's equally
I am
likely
Error.
that Sage Mido was
My
a
favorite
different
little
character
donkey,
entirely,
Z-targeting
a
Kokiri. I
lost
hate him.
sage whose identity
He's so
will
annoying.
forever remain unknown. Quite fittingly, Mido is a Sage of Shadow
Sorry, no one heard
whose
that.
story will likely never come to light.
The thick, tangled branches of
Thick.
the Lost Woods hold
Thick
up a
branches.
dense canopy that spans for miles in all directions.
7 out of 10.
Like a blanket cutting
I
the
didn't even
forest
mean to
off
burp.
from the outside world.
subs
Ancient
reading
trees
Mido.
stand like gnarled wooden columns
Am I
of
not
some
saying it
lost
right?
city.
Mido.
The gaps between
Oh,
forming winding paths
the
and trails
subtitles,
like
yeah.
forgotten roads.
The YouTube
It's in the
subtitles
center
do their
of these
best.
lost woods that
Look
the
at the
forest
Deku Scrubs,
temple
they're so
lies,
cute!
as old as the flora which
I love
slowly
Deku Scrubs, I
devours
want
it.
Deku Scrub
Colossal
plushie.
stone walls, pediments,
Should I
and
make a Deku Scrub
corridors,
Peachy? What would they
empty
even look like?
halls from the high ceilings of which hang vines
Ah!
and cobwebs. Silent
The
courtyards
day that I
open
make
to the
a
skies above. As you
Zelda
explore the
OC
deserted
Peachy, it'll be a
passages,
Zara.
an overbearing feeling
Or
of
a
isolation
Rito.
suffocates you. There's something strange, eerie, something not quite right about this place. While by the age of the hero of time, it's used as a place of worship for Saria, where she awakens as the sage of forest, the
It's
hands
Saria's
who built
song
the
now?
forest
It's not
temple
Saria's
are
song
long
anymore? I thought it was
forgotten,
Saria.
as is its original
Have I been saying it wrong
purpose.
this whole time?
This citadel serves as the game's 4th dungeon. After
Often
Link gathers
wonder
the
if
3
Deku Scrubs
spiritual
are like
stones
tiny
after
Deku Tree
venturing into
relatives.
the Great Deku Tree, Dodongo's Cavern,
That you are onto something with that. There is he was saying yesterday, when we were watching this yesterday, that the Deku Scrubs are based off this thing called Deku Dolls. And they're supposed to be kind of like spiritually linked with the thing that the Deku Tree is based on, which is like Shintoism. Yeah, Deku Dolls. Yeah. If I had a town, I would name the yaoi section of our library. How big would your yaoi section be, Vanquish? I'm honored that you would think of me. I'm honored that whenever people hear Mpreg and yaoi, they think of me. Oh wait, I am error is in Ruto, not Maido. Oh, I see. I have heard her name pronounced like that, Saria, instead of Saria.
Jabu
Yeah.
Jabu's belly.
Jabu
Link
Jabu.
uses these spiritual stones, alongside
Yabu
the
Yabu.
Ocarina of Time, to open the door of time and pull the Master
There's the
Sword,
Saria
which
song.
opens the sacred realm, the divine plane of reality on which the Triforce is hidden. Link is sealed here for 7 years, until he's old enough to be worthy of the title Hero of Time and able to wield the Master Sword. However, by pulling the Master Sword and opening
Not
up
as
the
big as the
sacred
Yuri
realm,
section.
he inadvertently led
You're right, that is a
Ganondorf
nice
to
use
the
of the Yuria
Triforce,
emote.
who attempted to take the relic for himself.
It's literally in her
But
name,
due to an
Yuria.
imbalance in his heart, he was left with only the Triforce of Power, the piece which closest suited him. Despite
Power.
claiming only 1/3 of the artifact, Ganondorf was granted unimaginable power, which he used to break Hyrule and rule it with an iron fist
Fire.
for 7 years. Not only did he bend
He
Hyrule to
fisted
his
Hyrule?
will,
That's not
his
nice.
dark power corrupted the once pure Sacred Realm, with only the Chamber of Sages
Man,
within
the
the
Sacred
Temple
Realm
of
looks
Light
kind of,
remaining untainted. His evil
Sacred Realm looked kinda
influence
depressing.
spilled forth
I feel
from the
bad that they're
5
all stuck in there.
temples, locations across Hyrule connected
Humble
in some
Bundle has a
way
big
to the
manga
Sacred
bundle
Realm,
for Yaoi and Yuri.
infesting
Really?
them with monsters.
Nice.
When Link awakens, now in the body of a 17-year-old, he's told by Sheik the legend of the 5 temples,
Oh.
a verse passed down through the ancient Sheikah tribe. When evil rules all, an awakening voice from the Sacred Realm will call those destined to be sages who dwell in the 5 temples. One in a deep forest, one on a high mountain, one in a vast lake, one within the House of the Dead, one
Yes.
inside a goddess of the sand.
All the
Together with the Hero
temples.
of Time, the awakened ones will bind the evil and return the light of peace to the world. Sheik informs Link that a girl he knows is waiting in the forest temple.
A woman
but
is
because
waiting
of
for
the
me?
evil power within,
A woman's waiting for me.
she cannot hear
Yippee.
her calling.
Yes.
Saria reveals that the forest spirits were calling for help, so she traveled to the temple, but became
Not the
trapped when she
subtitles
realized it was
renaming
full of
Saria.
monsters. And so Link ventures deep into
A
the
game
lost
bundle for
woods,
Yuri too.
through
Yeah,
the
let's
sacred
go.
forest meadow to the game's 4th dungeon, the forest
I found that the
temple.
Benj Round
However, the
ARG,
forest
2
temple
of the
isn't as
characters have a
simple as
fight
it
as adult
seems.
Link and Fierce
The
Deity.
other
Link in the room of
temples,
6
while
sages
also
oddly goes
functioning as the
hard.
awakening places of
That's
their
so true. I
sages,
wish we
all
could.
seem
I
to
wish we could battle in the room of 6 sages, but I feel like when you battle Shadow Link, that's like the closest you get to kind of the Sacred Realm. I'm not sure though. I don't know what you
another
guys think. I mean,
purpose.
isn't that the water temple?
It's not hard to imagine
That's
that
the water
the
temple,
fire
right?
temple was once a mine or a jail of some kind. We know that the water temple was built to worship water spirits, and it's filled with depictions
Dragon.
of sea serpents and other aquatic life.
Oh, maybe it's a
The Shadow
Leviathan.
Temple was built by the Sheikah as a prison and torture chamber for enemies of the royal
Family-friendly
family,
game.
and the Spirit Temple was built by the Gerudo to worship the goddess of the sand.
Shadow Link's in
But
the water
Forest
temple, yeah.
Temple, an
That's why he's in
abandoned
that little,
mansion
like,
deep in the woods,
water world that looks like Kingdom
inhabited only
Hearts.
by the lost souls of the undead or creatures native to the forest. What was
He
the
gets the
original
water
purpose
room.
of this building? Who built it and why? What
Why
do we know
indeed?
just from the layout and
Hi,
design of the
Technies.
Forest Temple? Simply from the
Hey.
design, we can tell that the Shadow Temple
Oh, I thought
was
I
a
changed
torture
the category
chamber,
to art.
or the Water Temple a
Hi,
place
check
of worship.
these. I changed
Truly,
it.
the Forest Temple
I was
begins
doing a
with the
long
sacred
stream, so I'm
forest
doing
meadow,
half
a sort of front garden.
I'm doing
to the
half
structure.
retro, half
The meadow begins
half the
with a small
Godzilla game,
metal
half
gate,
art.
leading into a winding maze through the meadow itself.
What?
Until
Why do you hate that game? I actually liked it.
we reach two stone pillars
Know what I'm
marking
saying?
the beginning of a
GameCube
stone
isn't
staircase,
retro.
ending in a narrow passageway.
Oh, that was
The
what
second
that was
set
what
of
was around
stairs
when I
lead
was a
up to the
kid.
front of the
That was
mansion.
around. I don't
Broken
know.
stairs
Sounds
leading
like a
to the
skill
front
issue.
door mean
Sounds
Link
like a
must
skill
use
issue.
the hook shot to enter the temple. From here we can appreciate the size of the temple.
GameCube isn't
The
retro.
ornate entrance decorated
Did
with
you
the symbol
guys
of
know
the
that the
forest
DS is
medallion,
retro?
topped with a large pediment, like those used extensively in Greek and Roman architecture.
Oh, I love pissing
Passing
off
through
old
the front
people.
door leads to a small foyer
It's
area
not.
with a stone ceiling, but an even more intricate and decorated
Hi,
hallway with,
Cassander.
again, the
Welcome.
forest medallion design, and a smaller pediment supported by columns to form a stone porch. This doorway leads on to a
I
decorated
can't
corridor,
even. I'm
which
gonna play
itself
Ocarina of
leads
Time
into the
3D and
central
put it in the
room of
retro
temple,
category.
a cavernous hall.
Just to
The
make you
floor
even
here
more
is
mad.
decorated
That's what
by a
Hoshi
rich
Moshi
red
did.
carpet, and from the ceiling, various
You guys
plant
remember
life
that?
hangs. There are 6 exits
You're a
from this
fucking
room,
monster. Thank
5
you.
leading to other areas
thank
of the
you.
mansion, and 1
I
leading
had
to
fun with
the
the game, though. It's really
basement where the
good.
boss fight takes
I can't wait to see what the
place.
remaster
The rest
will
of
look
the
like.
temple follows the same
miss
theme
Hoshi
of
too.
an
Where did she
opulent
go?
mansion, albeit one laced with traps and
I hope she's
puzzles,
doing okay.
like sliding blocks, falling floors, and corridors which twist the structure of the house itself. At the back of the temple is a room resembling a smaller version of the central hall, in which Link fights the mini-boss, 2 Stalfos. And like few Zelda
Stalfos.
dungeons, the Forest Temple features areas which are open to the skies above, in the form of
Maybe I
2
should draw her butt
courtyards
again.
accessible through the
Is that-
northeast and northwestern doors of the main hall.
Is that what you think when your
These
friends come to your
courtyards are
mind? I
connected
should draw
by
their butt again.
wells, leading to an underground stream and feature
Yes, you should.
balconies or crumbling columns. Their walls
A system's
coated in
considered
moss and
retro
ivy.
if it's been 20
Link's
years. The
goals
GameCube
inside
came
the
out in
temple are to
2001,
hunt
so it
down
became
the
retro in
4
2021.
sisters, who steal the flames from the 4
that,
torches in
Cassander.
the central hall.
Speaking of which, could I get a
causing the
shout out for
elevator
Check
in
These,
the
please?
center to
You guys
descend
should check.
without
You
him.
guys should check him out.
Interestingly, these 4 sisters are named
Honestly,
for the
playing
sisters
that-
in Little Women.
Playing that
Once
Godzilla
he
game
slays
kind
the
of
pose,
reminded
he
me
can
of the
access
Dragon Ball
basement
games
level,
with the
which
way that you can
features a
interact with the
sliding
environment.
mechanism, hiding a small portrait gallery leading
That's just
onto
how
the
things
boss
work.
room. A tiny chamber decorated by 6
The only reason they
unsettling
brought Legend of
paintings
Zelda
of a silhouetted
was to bring
structure
people who
and
wouldn't buy
dead
the Switch 2
trees.
and force them
There are
to.
many theories on this strange abandoned.
Yo, to be honest, the Nintendo Direct was really just a Switch 2 Direct. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I really feel like it was a Switch 2 Direct. And I can't complain because I have a Switch 2, but I feel really bad for those who can't afford it. That really sucks.
Temple. It has elements which link it to the home of a wealthy family, such as the paintings in the boss room and nearby corridor, the hedge maze outside with a Wolfos placed like a
Nintendo
guard
only
dog,
has the Switch 2
fine
now.
carpets, serene
Soon, in like 2 years, the Switch is gonna be retro. Watch. In my opinion, sometimes I feel like when they stop manufacturing it, that's when it becomes retro. Cause that's my what's the word? That's my threshold for when I feel like it's immoral to emulate something. When something's still being manufactured, I feel like it's really bad to emulate it. That's just my opinion, though. For people who want to emulate like Breath of the Wild and stuff, no, don't do that. That's just my opinion, though. If I make a retro style game and give you fucking Kingdom Hearts 2, that is retro. What do you mean? That's retro. That's retro. Then again, they still actually sell Kingdom Hearts 2, so I don't know. And they have an unfollowing. I'm so sorry. I want those games of the Switch 1. I don't care if they made a downgrade version that's just for Switch 2. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. So you don't consider Kingdom Hearts 300 and something days retro, even though it actually looks retro? I'm just kidding. Let me stop rage baiting Cassandra.
Courtyards and the general architecture of the temple. But surely we'd see more to it
It's got the low poly graphics.
Snow Peak
You
Ruins,
don't?
a similarly abandoned opulent mansion,
I can't believe it.
features identifiable rooms such as kitchens, a library.
Maybe there should be a nostalgia category instead of retro category to stop pissing the boomers off.
Inhabited by wealthy residents. But the forest temple seems empty. Rooms with
Why am I not
seemingly
drawing?
no purpose
Why am I not drawing a layer? Oh,
other than to confuse or
that's
kill
why, 'cause
those
it had
who
that,
explore them. A popular theory online is that the forest temple was a military base, used during the war prior to Ocarina of Time. The war that Link's mother fled when leaving him in the care of the Great Deku.
It does have like
this theory points out the battlements atop the
Shadow
walls
Temple
in the
type
courtyards,
vibe,
which are
where
a
it did
form
feel
of
like it was used
defensive
for
architecture which allows archers defending the walls to shoot between the gaps and take cover behind the stone, which wouldn't be necessary on a conventional house. This theory also suggests that it was from the forest temple, a military base, that Link's mother fled to Kokiri
I was not
Forest,
recording the whole time.
and that the undead enemies inside may be the deceased, reanimated soldiers from this encounter.
I barely drew anything. It's okay.
The Triforce is also present in the boss room on an ornate carpet,
so stupid.
perhaps connecting the structure to the royal family. While this idea makes
I
sense,
like the forest temple as a castle theory.
Evidence to
What
surely
castle do you
say
think
that
it would
the
be though?
forest
Do you think it would be like the Deku Scrub Castle or something? I don't know.
temple was a military
Everything before
base.
Rechain of Memories for Kingdom Hearts is considered retro.
Too beautiful.
1, 2, Chain of Memories, all retro.
Was once used for, it was a purpose far more divine than conventional
I don't know. I
warfare.
consider the
But the
3D.
temple
No,
is
I consider
a
the
very
DS,
defensive structure.
the OG DS
From what we
games.
see
I
in
consider
game,
retro.
It can only be accessed through the front, requiring any
Those
attacker
are
to
from.
not
Those
only
were games
navigate
from
through
my
the lost
childhood.
woods,
Okay.
but pass through a
Those came out when I was a
maze
fetus.
garden, travelling along incredibly narrow passageways which would bottleneck an oncoming force, leading out into a wide open area where defenders could easily deal with the thin attacking army. We see how difficult it is to fight in such a small area against a club mob.
But then again, I like saying that to rage bait people.
Storming the citadel against
Did you guys know the PS3 is retro?
The battlements, too, suggest
those are
that
getting
the temple
close to being
was
retro,
built
but it
with
hasn't been 20 years
defense in
yet.
mind, as they're a purely defensive structure used in the vast majority of city walls or castles.
I like going by the scale Momoka's community has.
The best defended area of the
Randy
forest
Savage
temple
scale.
Is the area Link fights
Anything
to
before
access
2011's
the
retro.
basement.
That's
When
the
all
Randy
4
Savage
torches
ccale.
Are lit, an elevator
The
is
first game I
present
ever played was the new
connecting
Super
main
Mario
hall
Bros. For
with
the DS. I
basement.
still own the copy.
But if they're
Nice.
extinguished, the elevator hides
The pose are
itself,
so cute.
becoming flush with the surrounding
I love the
floor,
pose.
and it becomes impossible to access the underground section.
No one heard that.
Or if you were new to the temple, it would be impossible to know there was a basement section at all. It seems that the entirety of the forest temple, the colossal, isolated, defensive fortress, was built to hide and to defend this basement level. Even once the elevator is active, an explorer must solve a final puzzle to access the locked room in which Link fights Phantom Ganon. But this spectral Gerudo warrior
Also, we
wasn't
need
part
more
of the
game
original
categories.
design. He was created
Retro,
and
vintage,
sent
classic,
there by
ancient.
Ganondorf himself.
What is ancient and primeval? I don't think we need all those, but I do think you're onto something. I do think we need a retro, vintage, and classic, something like that. Or I feel like we need like a nostalgia category, because I feel like DS games would fit that for a lot of at least people my age who are mostly on Twitch nowadays.
So was this room just an incredibly well-defended art gallery? Where one can stand and
Ancient would be the Atari.
6
No.
copies.
Ancient. Do you guys know what the first game is? You guys know what the first game is? Let me find it.
Of the same creepy painting.
It's that game that people hate.
Which appears
people
to
actually hate.
Ganon's tower.
Not that one. Pong is probably the first game, but there's this like game that was made for military purposes.
Part of the original design.
Let's see.
In fact, we see in the very same temple paintings which are illusory. used to hide the Poe
It's like a
sisters,
radar-looking
which
ass
vanish
game.
when Link shoots at them. These 6 paintings, which appear to
I was
be of
learning about this
Ganon's
in
tower,
school.
were likely placed here by Ganondorf's
That
magic
thing.
to be used by this
This
phantom.
thing.
So if the
found
paintings
it.
aren't the focus of this
What is
strange
this thing
little
called
room,
again?
what is? This tiny chamber, found
Space
at the end
War.
of a secret underground
made by
passageway
MIT.
in a
Yeah,
well-defended secret fortress in the woods.
This was one
It's
of the first
interesting
games
that
made.
this room's
I feel like
layout
this would
heavily parallels that of
categorize
one
as
of the
ancient.
most sacred places in the Zelda series.
No,
the
this game.
Chamber of
I think it's called
Sages.
Space Wars.
It's uncannily
People hated
similar
this
in
game.
elements of its
People
design.
thought this was a bad
large
game,
hexagonal
even though they didn't
platform
have anything
with a
else to compare it
Triforce
to.
in the center. It even features
This
6
fits the ancient
smaller
category.
golden triangles, one representing each
Before
of the
the
6
electricity
sages,
even
and has a
never played it.
Triforce on each
Don't.
point of the
Don't play
hexagon.
it.
In the 3DS
My imagining of this game would be like, it's like Toho or something, but worse. You know what we should watch? We should watch the video on how the dude developed Toho. I would like to watch that one day, because I know little to nothing about Toho. I just know like the music and stuff, and the characters are very cute.
remake, this chamber appears even more like a sanctuary.
Oh, I don't think that
with blue
of it as a
stained glass
game.
windows above.
It'll be never counted as
reminiscent
a game,
of
even
both
if it
the
is a
colours of
game.
the Chamber of
It wasn't
Sages
developed as
and
a game
other
at
sacred
first.
shrines
That
in the
wasn't the
series,
intention of
such as
developing
the
it.
elemental sanctuary from the Minish Cap. Perhaps
It was to be a
some
radar
sort
for
of
military
elemental
use or
sanctuary.
something.
The 4 flames required to access it,
The anime for
red,
Toho's,
blue,
or I
green,
never
and
watched that.
purple, mirror the colours of the 4 elements. But I think the connections to the Chamber of Sages are stronger, as it parallels not only this divine location, but also the hexagonal platform on which the Master Sword lies in the Temple of Time. Could this room have, long ago, been an entrance to the Sacred Realm?
We get
According
to see
Hyrule Historia, long after Skyward
we get
Sword,
to see the game
chaos
asset.
descended upon Hyrule as wars
I don't know
broke
why that
out.
itched my
People
brain the
fought
right
one
way to
another
see
over
the game like
legend of
that.
the Triforce, yearning to harness
Even if it wasn't
the
a game, that thing
unlimited
should be
power of
banned if
this
someone decides to
artifact.
remake it in 3D.
So,
Why?
as the Sage of Light,
Why?
Rauru built the Temple of Time,
It can't be that
which
bad.
contained the only entrance to the Sacred Realm, and sealed it with power stronger than both Time and the Master Sword. However, we know that before this, other entrances to the Sacred Realm existed. During Skyward Sword, Link enters the Sacred Realm
There are definitely worse
multiple
anime.
times.
Like the
Not
second
only
season
in
of Sword Art
Sky
Online,
Keep,
the 4th
where he
season of
finds the
Bleach.
pieces of the
I think I've only ever
Triforce,
watched like 2
but
seasons
also
of
during
Bleach.
his Silent Realm trials, which are
Oh my
very
god, not
likely
this
to have
shit.
taken place
I
in
got
the
PTSD with this shit. Remember? For the ones who have been here this whole time since 2023, those who have been following me since 2023, remember this shit?
during
Remember when
his
I was
Silent
screaming?
Realm trials, which are very likely to have
I should play
taken
this again
place
in
the
hero mode.
Sacred Realm itself, judging by the area's
Those
similarities
fucking motion
to where
controls,
the
bro.
Triforce is found later on in the game. Like all of the
Good
temples in
times,
Ocarina of Time,
no!
the Forest
I was
Temple during
crying.
the game has some link to the Sacred
The
Realm,
true ancient
as it's
game
from these locations
long and will
Ganondorf's
always be
evil
long.
pours forth.
How
and it's
long does
these
Pong go
locations that
on?
the
Can't you
sages are drawn
play Pong
to.
forever?
However, none of the other temples feature a room so uncannily similar to the Chamber of Sages or the Master Sword's chamber, which,
so pretty.
without Phantom Ganon, appears to serve no purpose.
His room is really pretty, but I
It's
hate playing
possible
tennis
that
with this
before
guy. I fucking hate playing tennis with this guy. This is why I rage quitted Ocarina of Time 3D the first time.
the era of chaos and the Temple of Time's construction, this sanctuary room
I'm not
was a
good at
primary
tennis.
entrance to the Sacred Realm, and the huge,
If you only saw the
defensive,
first 2
yet
seasons
ornate
of
forest
Bleach, did you
temple
ever
was
finish the
built
Rukia
around
arc?
it.
I
We know
probably.
that even in the
Oh,
ages
then you never
long
finished the
before
Rukia arc,
Skyward
damn.
Sword, at the very beginning
I
of the
like
Zelda
Rukia, she's
timeline,
cute.
the sages existed, with their emblems clearly visible in the Temple of Hylia. Perhaps the Forest Temple is far older than it appears to be, and like the Sage of Light Rauru built the Temple of Time, the Forest Temple was constructed in eras long past by different sages, or similarly powerful individuals, to house an entrance to the Sacred Realm in its sanctuary.
The sacred
By the
one.
time of Ocarina of Time, however, the temple has been disused for centuries, empty, haunted, and overgrown.
Good old
Its
flat
original
justice
purpose
Rukia.
and architect
She's
long
cute.
forgotten.
The game Pong was not sport in 2D game theoretically lasts forever. Rukia art ends season 3, then they outpace the manga. Okay, so we're going to the next time stamp in the video. The Fire Temple. Fire!
Deep in the smouldering bowels of Death Mountain lies Ocarina of Time's second adult dungeon, the Fire Temple. The temple is segmented into layers. The bottom levels are flooded with simmering pools of magma, the upper decorated
Yummy
in ornate
magma.
carved stone. The dungeon is centered
I want to
around
drink
two
the lava
problems,
in the Fire Temple.
freeing the imprisoned Gorons and finding their
Gorons. Who
legendary
put them
hammer
there?
in order to slay the dragon which threatens to eat them, who lurks in its lair in the
Oh my
west
god, it's
wing of the
vagina.
lower level. The
I
Fire
mean,
Temple is
Volvagia.
found in the blazing
Volvagia.
crater
I mean,
of
vulva.
Death
I mean,
Mountain,
Volvagia.
but Dodongo's Cavern, the first fire-themed dungeon in Ocarina of Time, is
Every
tunneled into the
second season
rock
of
on the
Bleach was a
trail
filler
leading to the
season.
volcano. This cavern functions
I
as
think
the
the Fullbringer
Goron's
arc
primary
ended
mine,
when I gave up on
used to
Bleach.
gather the most nutritious, delicious rocks, which
I think
make up the mountain dwellers' diet.
my
and is as
favorite
crude
filler
in design as
is
you'd
probably
expect a
between
Goron
JoJo
mine
and
to
Hunter
be.
x Hunter.
Bare rocky
Vulva.
walls held up with wooden supports, much like traditional mine shafts,
The Fire Temple's
and
filled
the
with Peach's
gargantuan
hair.
skeletons of long-dead Dodongos.
Why my
The
hair?
Fire Temple, on the other hand, is much more decorated. In place of simple wooden supports and plain stone,
Why
it
would
has
you make your
smooth
Fire Temple
carved
out of
walls.
wood? Why would you put wood? Why would you put wood in your Fire Temple? It's called the Fire Temple. Why would you put wood in it to support the structure? I feel like
and
that's
stairs,
not a good
statues,
idea.
and pillars. In addition to the obvious
Why does my
symbols
PNG look like one of
representing
Tails'
fire,
crushers?
tribal
I'm a
designs
Cedrian
are
VTuber
scattered
right
throughout
now.
the temple.
This is my
Tiki
Cedrian
statues
form. You
and
want to see how this is a
strange
Sonic
grinning face
form?
with accentuated
Blah.
lips. What the
Look at
temple
them.
itself was used for is never explicitly
Yes, I look like Tails'
stated,
dead girlfriend. I
but
heard
the
it
fact
before.
that it's filled with various prison cells, of which Darunia is aware,
I'm a Cedrian OC
means that
though.
it may have been used as a jail.
I didn't
at
like
least in
90s
more
Hunter x
modern
Hunter. I never got to
times.
watch that.
Regardless of the original
90s
purpose
Hunter
of
x
the
Hunter is
Fire
like lost
Temple,
media. I tried.
its design is
I tried
incredibly
finding it.
interesting. Something that not many people realize
JoJo, I
is
have
that,
trouble watching
like
'cause the
level
character
9 in the
design, that sounds like a
original
skill
Legend of
issue.
Zelda, Ocarina of Time's Fire Temple actually takes place within Spectacle Rock, a recurring
I
structure.
do wish Zeltick didn't play the original Fire Temple theme, instead played samples without their own editing. Like, it doesn't offend me, but I know its significance. Didn't the Fire Temple theme get, like, banned or something in, like, the final game? Wait, did you say the character I mentioned is dead? No, I did not. I mean, she's dead to Sega, that's what I mean. Because, you know, Sega hasn't acknowledged her in years. Yeah. It's a skill issue, difficulty to look past arts. It got changed in the first release. Oh, because of the chanting. It got censored. At least they removed the chanting from it. Why, though? I forget why. Not banned. In the first release, it had Muslim chanting and it was removed in subsequent release to avoid controversy. There was never actual controversy. Why can't we have the chanting? That's what, see, the thing I like about Zelda is that it has, it alludes to different cultures and actual history. But that sucks. They use random chanting without thinking about it. Oh, that's stupid. Why would they do that?
In the series. The rock first appeared on Death Mountain in the
Do
original,
your research.
as well as in Adventure of Link and
If
A
you're
Link
gonna
to the
do stuff like
Past,
that. Even
and
the
most
Game of
recently in
even the Game of
Gerudo
Thrones
Desert
guy
in
did
Breath of
stuff
the
like that,
Wild.
right?
In Ocarina of Time, the structure isn't named, but in the center
I
of
remember
Death
One
Mountain
Punch Man
crater,
didn't turn
we can
lazy
see a rock
until
formation which is
Nobu
unarguably
episode
meant to
season,
represent the iconic
till the new season
Spectacle
came out.
Rock. Two similarly sized
The lady
peaks
character
connected in the middle,
got
so that from
changed.
above it looks like a pair
Are you
of
talking
glasses.
about
While the Fire
Tatsumaki
Temple's
or her
entrance leads
sister?
away from
Because
Spectacle
I like
Rock,
them both.
Link actually has to climb down a ladder
Zeltick
and then
glosses
back
over it.
towards the structure. With
Zeltick glosses over it, but the Muslim chanting is particularly holy and apparently shouldn't be listened to with other music. Yes, that's something I learned too, that like in the Middle East you can't have they don't put art on their architecture. They put mainly calligraphy, which I think is very beautiful. Hello, I am the Leaf Lady. Yes. Hi, Crimson. Welcome. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're having a good day. Every lady character that Gooner's like in the One Punch Man meme. There's two lady characters I know of, Tatsumaki and her sister. I forget her sister's name. Fubuki. Fubuki. They're both cute. Wonderful, because you're here. Thank you, thank you. We're brushing up on our Ocarina of Time lore today. We're prepping for the remake coming out. Koji Kondo found a chant in a sound library, unlabeled. He had no idea it was significant. Well, that's stupid to put in your game without researching what it means. Why would you do that? That's pretty dumb. And it's like probably also disrespectful to other cultures, so I see why. Oh, that Zelda guy, Zeltick, yeah. It's sad that he glosses over it though. Like no one should be afraid to criticize the things they love, right? I criticize the Zelda franchise all the time, and you guys know I play it like once a week. I play a Zelda game on stream. But I will always criticize how I feel like it divulged to just Breath of the Wild, just Souls type game. I don't know. I like Star Fox. Star Fox good. I never actually played Star Fox, but I know of Star Fox. I've seen people play Star Fox, but I never finished it myself.
The true entrance to the dungeon found
We should play
just
that
below
and
the
Banjo.
rocks.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Knowing this, the design of the fire temple, two symmetrical cylindrical halves, makes a
Those
lot
are
of
boobs.
sense. Each half is found within one of
If
the
you put
two
it from the
parts of
top view, it
Spectacle
looks like
Rock,
boobs.
making it the third dungeon in the series
Oh,
to do
you
so.
see? Look.
After levels
Look, see right there? Oh crap.
of Spectacle Rock,
I didn't notice
making
that
it the
that was
third
in
dungeon
Zelda
in
1.
the series to do
Those
so.
are boobs.
After level 9 and Turtle Rock from Link's
For another day,
Awakening.
recommend the video
And the
that by
dungeon's
Skitty
main
video about
item,
Gerudo.
the legendary
Oh, okay, I'll
Megaton
keep that in mind.
hammer,
Thank you, Flynn.
parallels
Thank you,
another
thank you.
item in the series.
I don't mind watching
the
other Zelda
hammer found within Spectacle Rock
So
in
stupid.
Adventure of Link.
I was gonna say, I don't mind watching other Zelda VTubers, other Zelda YouTubers. Titties. For Tatsumaki, they made her access... You mean her butt? Her... For Gooners? You mean me? You mean for me? They made her butt larger for me? That's... I don't know why, because there's a scene where a character walks up the skill side of the... Yeah, they show the bottom view of Tatsumaki or something. That's my favorite scene in One Punch Man. How could you disrespect that? Skitty Bitty did a video called I Hate Tears of the Kingdom. I refuse to watch it for now. I probably should not watch any more Tears of the Kingdom videos because I feel like there's stuff in Tears of the Kingdom for me to discover that I actually kind of spoiled for myself watching that other Zeltick video. And I'm a little sad about like, oh damn, that was cool. Maybe I should have actually played the game. But it's not just like that I wanted to spoil or didn't care. It's just more like I'm trying to go through each Zelda game slowly. Oh yeah, we have ads in 2 minutes. Yeah. I might play the ads right now while I'm yapping, if you guys don't mind. Internet came back. I hate not being able to get fiber. How dare they not give you fiber? That sucks. Anime started off good and now going downhill. Yeah, I know that. No ads. No. I'm sorry. You can't avoid ads. Ads are going to be playing right now. For those who are not subbed, you're going to be yeeted to 3 minutes of ads. I apologize. I can't skip ads. No matter what, they're going to play. Ban ads. I'm so sorry. Just utilize this time to go pee pee poo poo. Go get a drink of water. Go hydrate. Go get a snack. I will be back in 3 minutes. Let's put on music while I yap. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, let's put on this song. Play my song. Become the new CEO of Twitch? No, because then I'm gonna be weird and creepy. Am I creepy? Because I feel like you need to be a weird, creepy old man in order to be the CEO of Twitch. I mean, I didn't say that. He's not sub to me. He can't hear me. Other options. Sub or get Twitch Turbo. Or... Peachy finally streams on YouTube. I've been trying to figure out dual streaming so you guys can avoid ads. Because I feel bad. But don't worry, you guys are not missing anything. Let me just... I would get ads on YouTube. Oh, I have YouTube Premium because I'm dumb. But yeah. I don't do that because the money I would give the streamer only half. Yeah, Optimus has the right idea. I'm mad at the ads right now. I'm sorry. We need to play the ads no matter what. I refuse to pay for YouTube because they suck. They do suck. They do suck. It's only convenient for me because I get to save the videos for the go because I'm always on the go. I'm always like at work when I'm not here. So I like to have YouTube videos saved in my library, in my download thingy. That's why I pay for YouTube Premium. Also, so I don't get so I can play music on stream without getting ads. I would like to not have ads during my art streams. Why are we pinging me? I'm so sorry. I am sorry. Don't shit yourself. Don't shit yourself. While the ads play. Well, since the ads are almost done, let me repost my going live notification. I'm not even gonna repost. I'm just gonna repost my midnight art on Blue Sky, and that's it. Like my art. Honestly, I don't even care when people at me because even when you just say Peachael, it's still in red for me. So I gotten so used to it now, to just seeing it. Because no one, like, new Sea Angels don't really call me Peachy. They just call me by my full name. So I always see the pings. I've gotten so used to seeing it on Twitch. The streamers should get more than 50% of the money they get. I highly agree as a streamer. As someone who supports other streamers, I highly agree that streamers need to get more than 50%. But Twitch is be nice to Twitch, guys. They're a small indie company. They need to make their money. They need to make their money somehow. All right, let's get back to the video. For anyone just joining, I am on the Fire Temple part of the Zeltick video. We were complaining about how Zeltick took out the music. Yeah. And how apparently Nintendo doesn't do their research. At least retro Nintendo didn't do their research before putting random chanting that they had no idea what religious value it had. I don't know. Just basically Nintendo was dumb. The end.
So the Fire Temple is
needs a third yacht. Yeah, I know, right?
Built into spectacle
Jeff
rock
Bezos
in
needs
the
to
very
pay for his
crater
next
of Death
mansion.
Mountain, an area where the air itself burns so hot.
I understand that Twitch
Link
does need
can't
to make
survive
money
for long
too in order
without
to
the
keep Twitch
protection of
running.
the fire tunic.
Yeah.
It's here in
The
the
same
very
for
heart
Discord,
of the
like,
volcano that Link faces. The
apparently Discord is gonna have like a thing where they're gonna limit your messages soon too, because keeping all that messages is like having someone around just not paying rent. That's how expensive it is to keep up servers for them. But I feel like they just need to be more transparent about it instead of being, I don't know, sneaky about it.
subterranean lava dragon, the serpentine Volvagia. A dragon from ages
I will
long
change
past,
the message
revised by
one
Ganondorf
day.
and used to threaten
I just
the
don't want
Gorons.
fetuses here.
But what was
I
the
just don't want
intended
fetuses
purpose
here.
of
I'm
this
sorry.
structure, and who built it?
I will tell them
And
to
what
watch
was
Bluey
Volvagia,
instead.
who predated Ganondorf's rise
It's
to power
Volva.
by years?
I mean
Simply a
Volvagia.
malevolent dragon of the deep, or something greater? The Fire Temple is built from a strange burnished gold stone.
I heard. I learned yesterday that Volvagia is hot in Hyrule Warriors. You guys want to see?
Are those of a flame,
For those who
fitting
haven't
for
seen.
the Fire Temple, and this bizarre
Volvagia.
grinning face, often flanked on
Hyrule
either side
Warriors.
by the flame pattern. Despite
It's just the
serving as the main
Gajinka of
fire
a-
dungeon in the game, in the
of a
very
Zelda
center
boss.
of the Goron's home of Death Mountain, the Fire Temple doesn't appear to have been
Look at
built
him.
by the Gorons. Not only does it
Very
appear
cool.
to be unused, hidden behind
Kinda
a
looks like a
secret passage
Digimon.
in Darunia's chambers,
Or is it just me?
the architecture is
The
completely
human-looking
different to Goron-built
Volvagia from Hyrule
structures,
Warriors.
like the simple
Kinda looks like a
mines of
Digimon.
Dodongo's cavern, made from excavated
Even got the
rock,
dragon
wood
fins.
supports and bones, and Goron
Pretty
City,
cool.
dug into the sheer rock of the mountain and decorated with primitive cave paintings, cloth
Ooh,
banners,
paintings.
wood, rope, and of course the Goron emblem. None
One of
this
those human
signature
Digimon
primitive
hybrids,
architecture
yeah.
is found in the Fire Temple,
Or a Yu-Gi-Oh.
save for a basic wooden
He looks
plank
like a
bridge
Yu-Gi-Oh.
suspended over lava by ropes in the Eastern Room, which could have been built by Gorons in recent times, where we see there's been some sort of collapse in the floor. The Fire Temple is infamous for its theme music, which in the original release of the game featured chanting sampled from Muslim prayers.
Oh, here we go. He's acknowledging it. Okay.
Koji
gonna
Kondo
explain?
apparently used this sample without understanding its meaning,
This is what
just
we're
using
talking
it
about.
for effect, as
Yeah.
he did with many royalty-free samples. Unless
Why
you
would you do
understand
that?
Arabic or a
I mean, was Nintendo that big back then when this first came out? I feel like they were, right? I feel like Nintendo got big when they had, like, Mario, right? When they had the first Mario, that's when they really got big. So I feel like there's no excuse to be using, like, royalty-free music in your game. Make your own music, dude. Definitely big. Yeah, Ocarina of Time was a pretty hype game. Why would you use royalty-free music in your AAA game that people pay full price for?
familiar with the prayer, the original
I think
theme
Sakiyama
seems
and
alien,
Kazemon are
haunting,
favorite
eerie,
human Digimon
evoking
hybrids.
the feeling
Oh, I
of
see, I
entering
see.
a place built by some long-lost
I don't know
people,
Digimon that
and is
well.
in stark contrast to the tribal drums of Goron City
They were big even before the N64 came out. True, true.
or the
Oh, I love
empty
Goron City
ambience
music.
of Dodongo's cavern, highlighting just how different this temple and its original creators were to the Gorons. In addition to the Fire Temple's differences to Goron structures,
Definitely no
we can
excuse to be
see that
using
in
royalty-free
games
music
prior
in a
to
AAA
Ocarina of
game.
Time, the Gorons had not settled
Especially
on
without
Death Mountain.
researching what
In both
it's
the Minish
saying.
Cap and Skyward Sword, Gorons are vagabonds, a wandering tribe without a home, meaning it's likely
Aw.
that they settled on Death Mountain in relatively
They're so
recent
cute,
times.
though.
Yet, despite likely not being its creators,
I like the
we know that
Gorons.
the Gorons have a strong connection to the
I need to
Fire
see a
Temple.
Goron VTuber one
In
day.
particular, the Megaton
If you guys
Hammer
find one,
and
please tell me.
Volvagia. An ancient Goron legend is retold to us by Link the Goron, telling the story of his people's first victory over the Fire Dragon.
And if
A long
he's
time
if there's a
ago, there
Goron
was an
VTuber, he
evil
better say
dragon
brother a
named
lot.
Volvagia living in this mountain. That dragon was very scary.
Royalty-free music is
He
okay
ate
for streamers, though.
Gorons. Using a
Yeah,
huge
'cause streamers
hammer,
are not
the hero of the
Nintendo.
Gorons, boom,
We don't have the power
destroyed
that
it just like
Nintendo
that.
has.
This is a myth from long ago, but it's true. I know because my dad is a descendant of the hero. In an age so long ago that its events have faded into myth,
Did we get a Goron Link?
Volvagia wreaked havoc on Death Mountain, terrorizing the Gorons.
Oh, okay,
But
no,
the
he's talking about a different
ferocity
hero.
and power of the subterranean lava dragon didn't shatter the resolve of one ancient Goron hero, who took up a colossal steel hammer and broke the body of the fire.
Sorry I'm taking so long
The
to draw this, by the
dragon
way.
remained a legend passed down through the Goron generations, until the 7 dark years in which Ganondorf lay claim to Hyrule, while the hero of time
I'm still
slept in
calming
the
down from that
Sacred Realm.
Godzilla.
During this time, Ganondorf was able to break the royal family's rule of the land. But, among others, the stalwart Gorons
Death
refused
Mountain.
his rule. In response, the Gerudo used his dark powers to revive
Not
the
his laser
ancient dragon,
piss.
and imprisoned the Gorons within the Fire Temple, threatening to feed them to the beast as a warning to other races that might
Can
resist
they
him.
even...
So, Volvagia is simply
I thought he said he was racist. I'm like, oh no, Ganon! I know you're evil, but you can't be that evil. That's just crossing a line. But also, what do the Gorons even taste like? Wouldn't the dragon just be eating rocks? Wouldn't they be really, really difficult to eat?
an evil dragon, right? Much like Aquamentus, Gleok, or Argarok, a malevolent
Yummy
creature
rock.
summoned or created by a villain.
I think that would have a lot of salt.
Ocarina of Time has 3 elemental races.
Better crunch.
The Kikiri, residing in the Lost Woods
I think
and
that would
holding the
not be
Kikiri
good because there's too
Emerald,
much salt.
The Zora, residing in Zora's domain and holding the Zora's Sapphire, and the Gorons, residing
I could
on Death
imagine the
Mountain
Gorons
and
liking the
holding
rock salt
Goron's Ruby.
they'd be getting in like
The
Breath of the
first
Wild.
2 of these races were watched over by a guardian deity, which embodies their
Deity.
elements. The Great Deku Tree, guardian spirit of the forest, and Lord Jabu Jabu, patron deity of the Zora. Ganondorf is aware of the influence and power of
Look
these
at
guardian
Jabu Jabu.
deities.
He's so
And it's
silly.
these two that he targets when he attempts to extort the spiritual stones from the
Thorns
races,
might be like candy
placing a curse on
jawbreaker.
both the Great Deku
Dragons
Tree
do
and
tend to
Lord
eat
Jabu
rocks,
Jabu,
so of course
infecting them with
makes
the
sense.
parasites Goma and
Depends on the
Baronade,
dragon lore you go
respectively.
with.
Yet, when
Yeah, I
Ganondorf
can see that,
attempts to
especially
take the
since it's a
Goron
fire
Ruby,
dragon we're
he
talking
instead
about.
blocks off the source
I
of
wish
their
Breath of the Wild
food,
and Tears of the
the
Kingdom
Dongo's
referenced the
Cavern,
Kokiri more
as the
directly,
Gorons have no
instead of
guardian
only having the
spirits.
Koroks.
Looking ahead in the adult
Yeah, especially
timeline to
because
the Wind
Breath of the Wild
Waker,
and Tears of the Kingdom, we both have the Rito and the Zora, and that's like the first time we see the Rito and the Zora coexist in a Zelda game, right?
where just like Ocarina of Time, 3 sacred jewels must be collected to enter a sacred temple, we again see a guardian deity of the forest in possession
Daruk
of one,
makes Link
the
eat
Great
rocks
Deku
in Age of
Tree,
Calamity.
and a water spirit in
I
possession
think I got
of
up to
another,
that, but I'm not so
Jaboon.
sure. I
But
actually
here
really
we
did like
also
Age
see
of
a
Calamity.
third spirit completing the trio.
I want to play that with
Valu,
Lean.
a great dragon
When I get to my
perched
Breath of
atop
the Wild
Dragon Roost
era of
Island.
gaming, for those who don't know, I play a lot of Zelda games. Breath of the Wild is going to be like one of the last games I play when it comes to what Zelda game. When I start running out of Zelda games, that's what I will play. But I would like to play Age of Calamity with Lean, probably because it's 2-player.
Known as the spirit of the skies, yet also directly connected to the element of fire. In Ocarina of Time, there's a missing third part of the Guardian Trinity, a missing fire
Look at
spirit.
him and his teeth.
Enter Volvagia, the
It's Breath
subterranean
of the Wild
lava
fan
dragon,
service mode with
an
weapons that
ancient
don't
being
break.
slain by the Goron hero long
Yeah,
ago,
I feel like
newly revived by
appeal of Age
Ganondorf
of Calamity
to terrorize the mountain folk.
Is that Skyward
It's been
Sword
long
battle where
thought
you're
by
just
Zelda
fighting a
fans
bunch
that
of
Volvagia
bokoblins.
could be, in some way,
I
the
love this
third
music.
guardian deity, the spirit of Death Mountain. And both Hyrule Historia and Encyclopedia seemingly confirm this. The latter describing the beast as essentially the spirit of Death Mountain. And Hyrule Historia goes as far
that's
to
definitely the
suggest that
appeal of
not
that
only
one
are the
Skyward
Wind
Sword
Waker's Great
battle,
Deku Tree and
where you're just
Jaboon
fighting like
descended
100
from Ocarina of
bokoblins.
Time's Deku Tree and Jabu Jabu, something which anyone who's played both games could speculate on, but also that Valu could be directly
Valu.
descended from Volvagia. Could Volvagia
I never thought about it
truly
like
be
that.
the third guardian deity?
I like Valu.
A being so ancient its origins are unknown.
So
Just like
Volvagia
Jabu
becomes our
Jabu and
friend.
the Great Deku Tree, who, for whatever reason, harmed its race rather than protected them. If so, why was it known to be an evil dragon? Why would a Goron hero, long ago, have had to fight his own patron deity for the survival of his race, crushing the spirit with a legendary hammer? An interesting point to make is that Ganondorf somehow knew
How did
about
he know?
Volvagia in order to revive it.
How did he know?
From what we learn from Link the Goron, the legend of the Goron hero's triumph over the
Aw,
dragon
so
is
cute.
so old that its validity is doubted. Yet Ganondorf somehow knew about this spirit, and that resurrecting something straight out of myth would be an effective way to threaten the Gorons. Ganondorf somehow also knew about the Great Deku Tree and Jabu Jabu's roles as guardian deities of the forest and water, knowing that they were prime targets for his curses. Might he also have learned about Volvagia
They did not
the
have to
same
make this
way?
music go that
The
hard.
guardian spirit of the mountain, who unlike its brethren was long dead. Still, we don't learn why the guardian
From
deity
far away, he looks like a very long Cheeto, and I want to eat it. I'm
of the
hungry.
mountain is seemingly an evil creature,
Why
bent
evil?
on destruction and devourment. But
I would assume
there
'cause
are
of Ganondorf.
clues found not in Ocarina of Time, but in the Wind Waker, with Volvagia's apparent descendant,
Look at
Dragon
him.
Roost Island's Valu. Valu
That-
is a benevolent,
that
caring
dragon becomes so
deity,
silly.
the protector of
Hi,
the
Kevin.
Rito
Thank you for the
tribe who have come
check-in.
to dwell on the mountain since their evolution
Welcome,
from the
welcome.
water-based Zora. It's possible that this evolution wouldn't have happened at all without Valu, as it's by his grace that the Rito are granted their wings. However, by the time
Nice.
Link arrives, Valu is in torment, being tortured from below by a
Why'd you
creation
take my
of
music
Ganondorf,
away?
Goma, who lurks in the cave below where Valu's tail hangs. The
We get to see
Rito
two bosses
cannot
in one.
understand why their once peaceful god has changed so suddenly, acting violent and unpredictable, shaking the
He
mountain
used to be a
itself
happy
and
dragon.
throwing boulders down, one of which destroys a bridge. This burning rage means that it's too dangerous to approach him, threatening the Rito's way of life as
I didn't mean to
know
merge
it.
those.
While Valu rages,
I don't think I
Dragon
should be
Roost
merging
Island
these.
is surrounded by a storm, a circular cloud
Then again, I'd be
surrounding the
having a
peak,
lot of layers.
which is incredibly similar to Death Mountain's appearance while Volvagia is active, which erupts with a burning ring of clouds surrounding the peak. After Goma's defeat, the storm subsides and the clouds dissipate, just as after Volvagia's defeat, Death Mountain ceases to erupt, and the ring of clouds returns to
I'm
the
sorry
calm,
she's still bald, by
faint
the way.
grey.
We'll get
Long
there
before
soon.
Ocarina of Time,
Why
might
can't Valu just
Volvagia
call
have
for
been
help?
suffering a similar
I would assume that the other spirits. I mean, maybe Zeltick just said that. I missed it, but aren't the other spirits imprisoned in Wind Waker?
fate to Valu.
Did he just
Valu's
say that?
pained fury was a complete mystery to the Rito, who constantly sought to find the reason behind it. But if Volvagia had burned with a similar, dangerous anger, the
looks so
notoriously
silly.
brash, hot-headed Gorons may not have been so diplomatic
He looks
in their
more menacing
solution,
when you're in battle.
resorting to a good old hammering at the hands
Oh,
of
the
their
cloud
hero.
over the mountain
In the
blocked all
3DS
view.
remake, the Fire Temple features alongside the
I would assume him being on the top of the mountain, literally causing the rumbling for the whole island, was his call for help. But yeah. It's sad that he couldn't call the other spirits for help, though, because they were probably also occupied with their own shit.
laughing faces and fire symbols, designs resembling some form of serpent. Could these be depicting Volvagia? And considering how different it is to Goron buildings, might the Fire Temple have been built by some ancient people, long before the Gorons made the mountain their home, as a shrine for the spirit of the volcano, Volvagia? If the Gorons settled the
Volvagia.
mountain long after the construction of the Fire
Look at
Temple
that
and the
Goron.
birth of Volvagia,
What he
they may
doing?
not have understood the volatile nature of the volcano's spirit. Like the element Volvagia embodies, and the mountain in which it lives, the deity is fierce and unpredictable, powerful and destructive, especially if it was in a fit of rage similar to Valu's, caused by
Oh, I
some
see.
unknown ailment or curse. Perhaps the spirit was even enraged by the Goron's
But don't we
activity
kill
on
him?
the mountain.
I feel
mining
bad, 'cause
into
don't
its
we kill
sacred
him?
temple and carving homes into
In
the
Ocarina
rock.
of Time, doesn't he die?
And to the Gorons, who may have settled the area in relatively recent times, a raging
Yeah, right there. He's
guardian
about to die.
spirit may have seemed an enemy.
That sucks.
a
Oh, yeah, he
fiend to
literally
be
just gets
destroyed with the
Thanos. That
legendary
sucks.
hammer.
The Fire
Volvagia,
Temple-
despite being the most iconic
The Fire Temple could be closely related to Din as the Gerudo. Maybe the Gerudo once had a settlement on Death Mountain. I fully agree with you, especially since Din is like power. Definitely. And power is usually the power Triforce is usually associated with fire. Makes sense.
isn't the only dragon fire spirit in the series.
You do see that, and this is why I like Phantom Hourglass, because that is where the Triforce of Power gets more aligned with the Fire Temple. If you remember in Phantom Hourglass how you get the Spirit of Power there, you get it through the Fire Temple.
Others appear, which could be different
Volvagia was already dead.
incarnations,
Ganondorf revived
ancestors
it.
or descendants of the boss of the Fire Temple.
So we
The
basically
most
put
recent
Volvagia
is
back to
Dinral,
rest.
a serpentine dragon spirit
That's
which soars
better
across the
than
skies
the
of
other fate.
Hyrule in Breath of the Wild, alongside its brethren Farosh and Nadra. These spirits, while dangerous to fly near, mean no harm to the various people of Hyrule, and in fact can only be seen by those with a pure heart such as a child. Similar to the Minish or the Koroks, perhaps a choice by the goddesses
Aw.
to keep the guardian spirits separate from the proceedings of mortals. Another is Eldin, guardian of the Eldin province, tasked
Yeah.
with teaching Link the Song of the Hero alongside the
Oh, yeah, I
dragons
forgot there are dragons
Faron
in there
and
too.
Lanayru. While a benevolent
hot dragons.
creation
I
of
mean,
the goddess,
normal
Eldin's
dragons
power
that I
and
didn't sit
volatile
for at all.
nature is still seen. An explosion of his power
I'm
causes
normal.
a gigantic eruption of Eldin volcano
I swear
which
I'm normal.
knocks Link unconscious and prevents him ascending to the skies by throwing up clouds of ash. But
Wasn't there a
one
lady
question
dragon?
remains. If Volvagia
In
was
Skyward
an
Sword, wasn't
enraged
there a
fire
lady dragon?
spirit, destroyed first by a Goron and then by Link, how could Valu be descended from it? The possibilities are
You can literally play
numerous.
whack-a-mole with
Valu
him.
could be a sort of spiritual
Link is either chosen by the
descendant
gods
of
or a
subterranean
child at
lava
heart, or
dragon,
both.
rather than directly, similar
think
to how
both.
the reincarnation of Link happens.
Link is
However,
usually-
it's also not impossible
I don't
that Volvagia had eggs somewhere within the Fire Temple, just like how the Great Deku Tree reproduced via its sprouts, though we don't see anything like it in the game.
Maybe
However,
just
we
like
do see evidence for
Link
what
was
might be an
initially chosen by the
intermediate
gods, and then
step
every
between
reincarnation
Volvagia
of
and
him
Valu in Dragon
has the
Roost
same
Cavern,
fate.
the labyrinth which lies beneath Valu in the Wind Waker. This cave network now crawls with enemies, and great pillars of lava erupt throughout, but there still exist bridges, stone rooms, and passageways in the mountain. And interestingly, this architecture doesn't resemble that of the Rito, which features totem pole designs as well as nest-like rooms.
Isn't underneath Valu, isn't that like supposed to be what the mines was, the Goron mines? That makes you think. Like, wouldn't this be Death Mountain?
With feathers and carvings of birds.
The brains.
Instead,
the brain are
Dragon
braining.
Roost
My
Cavern
brain
features
cells.
crude wooden bridges, wall paintings, and bones, much
Now
like
that
the
I'm
building
realizing
of
it.
the Gorons in
Yeah,
Ocarina
exactly.
of Time, in particular Dodongo's Cavern. In fact, the music of Dragon Roost Cavern and Dodongo's Cavern
Yes.
are almost identical, save for a drum beat in the former.
Eerie. So eerie.
Dragon Roost Cavern's ornate entrance even features 3 large statues depicting strange-shaped creatures, with
La
spiked
criatura.
backs and large lips. Could these be statues of Gorons? They feature noses, which Gorons normally lack, but otherwise resemble the rock folk better than they
They
do
look
any
kinda
other
cute,
race in the
though.
series. Hyrule Encyclopedia claims that Dragon Roost Island was once Zora's domain, though this doesn't mean that Gorons at one point didn't reside within these mountains,
I see.
sometime in the centuries between Ocarina of Time and the Wind Waker. And during this time, they may have had a new patron deity, a serpentine dragon, much like Volvagia. Instead of the feared creature of myth and legend it is during Ocarina of Time, Dragon Roost Cavern appears to celebrate and worship the fearsome power of a dragon, with carvings of the creature decorating the entrance, walls, and even 2 huge heads surrounding 2 of the
Big
doors.
head.
These depictions of dragons notably don't look anything like Valu. The carvings at the entrance in particular, in all but colour, are incredibly reminiscent of Volvagia, a serpentine dragon with 2 claws, horns, and a fiery mane. Even the beams onto which Link can grapple hook, dotted throughout the dungeon, seem to be designed to honour Volvagia, or a similar deity,
I
being
guess I can
shaped
see that.
exactly the same way as the fire spirit's claws. Dragon Roost Cavern may have been a
Maybe that was
mine,
unintentional,
or a
though.
shrine, or a sanctuary, but whatever it was, it's clear that between Ocarina of Time and the Wind Waker, someone worshipped or revered a dragon spirit, which from the evidence could well be the missing link between Volvagia and Valu. A powerful, volatile spirit, much like fire itself, but one that the Gorons learned to respect and understand. Knowing this, Ganondorf's torment of the Gorons may have been one of the most diabolical schemes the King of Evil has ever performed.
Evil.
Resurrecting the raging deity of the mountain, perhaps incorrectly remembered
That's gotta
in
be
Goron
hardcore
legend
to
as
have
a
your
fiend,
nickname
and
be
pitting
the King
very
of Evil.
Spirit of Death Mountain
Why don't you guys
against
call
its
me that?
inhabitants, threatening to feed them to its wrath as a message to the other races of Hyrule. It's fitting, in a way, that Volvagia was known to eat Gorons,
What?
just like the Great Deku Tree opens
Why?
its mouth to allow Link to enter, and Jabu Jabu
Gorons
swallows
are
both
friends.
Princess Ruto and the Hero of Time. Darunia's Bane may have been the literal embodiment of the Gorons' home,
Peachy, the
twisted into
Seraphim
a
of
fury the mountain
evil,
folk
exactly.
could not understand.
I'm like Dr.
However, as
Doofenshmirtz.
seen in Dragon Roost Cavern, it appears that in later years,
Evilinator.
Volvagia, or its descendant, was revered not as an evil monster, but as an honoured, volatile fire spirit.
Call you what? I was folding my laundry. Evil! I
One
want to
of
be the king of
longest-running
evil.
mysteries of the game is the elusive
this edit.
desert pyramid.
Why'd you only
an
have that edit
enigma
for a
which has been
second?
discussed for years. This Zelda universe thread
Okay.
from 2004
So,
sums up
we are on the... I think we're passing towards the next theory right now. This one is a desert pyramid. Desert wasteland pyramid myth.
the mystery well.
I keep reading this as period. I swear, if I accidentally read this as period, I'm so sorry. No, I did not get my period again on stream. Don't worry, don't worry.
Sacred Order begins with the unreachable pyramid of the desert
I
wasteland.
am evil. I'm a fallen
explaining
angel.
that they've heard a lot of rumors
I'm like
about
Sephiroth.
a pyramid in Ocarina of Time, which they've seen and never reached. Razorleaf explains that it's not something you can reach, but you can see it if you play the Song of Storms. Sacred Order replies that they've
one-wing
heard
angel,
people
except I got
say
two
they
wings.
managed to reach it, finding another
So is
temple
Iron
in
Mouse
the
and
sands.
Booby?
Alex N
I thought
chimes
Booby
in with
was
the
just a
idea that it
demon.
might have been a structure cut from the game, a pyramid in
See,
the desert.
Iron Mouse is literally Satan. I'm not Satan.
Another dungeon.
I'm just
There
a
is
fallen
little
angel. I'm not.
truth
I have
what
nothing to
they're
do
saying.
with
If we head out to the structure in the center of
Sataniel,
the haunted wasteland,
aka
where
Lucifer.
we find the Phantom Guide, and play the Song of Storms while facing east, we can see the mysterious pyramid, looming in the distance, illuminated by lightning. So perhaps they were right. Perhaps a desert pyramid was once planned for the game, but was cut during development. Unfortunately, the real answer is a lot less satisfying. If we use a mod to remove the sandstorm or use a no-clip camera, we can see the truth behind the mysterious pyramid. It's the very end of the cliffs which stretch round from the Gerudo's fortress area, which tapers off into a point. This point forms the pyramid which we see with the Song of Storms. Not an ominous missing temple, a lost structure in the desert, just the end of a cliff.
In Christianity, all fallen angels are
Gaming
demons.
mysteries and rumors have been
Lucifer
around
just
for as
gets
long
the
as there
extra
have been
title of
games to
devil
play.
he was
the
the
most
fallen.
famous
He was an
among them
archangel
being
though.
Mew Under the Truck in
That's
Pokemon
why.
Red and Blue, unlocking Luigi in Mario 64, and of course finding the Triforce
He was like,
in Ocarina
wasn't he
of
as
Time.
important as
But
Michael?
was there ever
I don't
any
know.
truth to the rumor?
I'm not religious.
Was Link ever actually meant to find the Triforce in Ocarina of Time? So, to begin with this classic gaming mystery, we need to look
The
at
only
where it
religion I
started.
worship is
Of course,
Sonato.
Ocarina of Time
That's
is the
my
fifth
religion,
main
Sonato.
Zelda game, and in the first 3 games, the Triforce was progressively established as the final goal of Link's quests. The single most powerful magical
If anyone would like to
artifact in
join
the
me, I'm
world.
starting a church.
In the first game,
The Yowie
Link
Church.
collects the shattered pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom. In Zelda 2, he proves his worth and uses the full Triforce to wake
The
a sleeping
Dorito.
Zelda. And in A Link to the Past, after defeating Ganon, Link again stands before the completed Triforce and makes a wish to undo Ganon's
I like
evil.
that they have like
Link's
the 3D
Awakening was a
graphics for
handheld
Game Boy
Zelda telling a
games.
fully
Or was that NES?
self-contained story
I'm dumb.
not set in
That's
Hyrule
SNES,
and not
right?
involving Ganon.
I'm stupid.
So by the
Don't
time
listen
that
to me.
Ocarina
Don't look
of
at me.
Time was on the horizon, known as Zelda 64
He was the original
at the
who led
time,
others
it just
to
made
listen.
sense to assume that in the biggest, most ambitious Zelda game to date, Link would find himself searching for the series' most iconic item.
I see.
At the Shoshinkai Software Exhibition in late 1996,
I appreciate your
Nintendo showed off
clarification.
one of the very first glimpses of Zelda 64. A few very short clips of Link fighting Stalfos, exploring the new 3D environment,
Why does this look
and
better than what we got?
notably, discovering the Triforce in a chest. The game was shown again a decent amount
Yeah,
before
I
release,
saw, you said
but
used
never
to.
again showed off
Used
the
to.
Triforce. And once Ocarina of Time was released in 1998,
Knowledge is always good to
people played
have.
through the game and found no Triforce. Sure, Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf each possessed their respective pieces, but the full set wasn't found in a chest like in the early trailer. Ocarina of Time was of course released in the late 90s, long before the internet became as big as it is now, the age of
Very
data
true,
mining
very
and
true.
emulation, where any and all secrets can be plucked out from games.
Where would they get their game
sometimes
theories
before they
back
even
then,
hit
Sea
shelves,
Angels?
and discussed with thousands of people instantly. So some of the mystery surrounding video games is lost. Video games have more defined boundaries now, but back then,
I
you
studied a lot
bought
of other
game
religions
and
too,
that was it.
but those were
It
after
was
Christianity.
your little world that
I commend
you
that.
owned, and aside from
It's always
guidebooks,
nice to do.
trailers, and what your friends or
I
early
like
websites
studying,
told you,
since I'm an
that
art
was
student,
it.
I have no choice but to study
So,
different
although it
architecture,
didn't
but I
seem
enjoy
like
it.
players could collect the Triforce by
I
playing
like,
through the
I
game
like seeing
normally,
different
this
architecture from
didn't stop
different
people
cultures
from talking about it
and their religious
claiming that it
significance.
was indeed hidden somewhere in the game.
And we see that a lot in Zelda
Especially
games, too.
because on the quest
Somewhat.
status menu
feel like.
screen, where Link's medallions are added to a
Really
hexagon on
see
the right as he unlocks them, the symbol of the
Inspiration.
Triforce rests in the center. The Triforce is coloured the same as the surrounding stone, just like the indentations where the medallions eventually
What is this music?
fit. So what if
I don't remember this
finding
in a
the
Zelda game.
Triforce fills in this seemingly empty part of
Not
the
my
menu
Zelda
screen?
game.
Rumors were everywhere.
This is bussin'
My
though.
friend
I like
was
this.
a tester for Nintendo of America and knows how to unlock it. You have to beat the whole game without dying. It's found at the end of a secret sky temple, but no one ever had any proof that they'd actually done it. Some of the steps people suggested you'd have to complete to unlock the Triforce were very specific and pretty insane. Like blow up 2 bombs in Hyrule Fields, then run to the very right
trying
side
to
of
find
Death Mountain
game
Crater,
cheats.
play Zelda's Lullaby, travel to Kakariko and enter Dampe's house to find a note in his journal saying "gone fishing."
You gotta find
catch
this
2
exact-
big fish in Lake Hylia,
this exact
and then a blue
pixel.
fairy will give you the Triforce
It is nice
in
music.
Castletown. Others suggested that the Unicorn Fountain, a strange
Unicorn.
place that was showed off in a few early screenshots of the game, was the secret
Nice.
hiding place of the Triforce. In fact, the Triforce rumors were so prevalent that a fan wrote in to the editor of Zelda64.com, the official Ocarina of Time website owned by Nintendo of America, asking for the truth. And though the editor admitted that he too
Tell
had
us.
seen the countless rumors floating around the internet on how to find the Triforce, he didn't know anyone who had done it, and had even consulted a translator who worked on the game who conceded that he'd never written text for Link finding the Triforce.
Oh.
But even still, the editor didn't completely shut the door on the rumors. He admits that he feels obligated
It's
to
GoldenEye
mention that
music.
this does not prove
Why would
that
you
the
put
Triforce
that
is
here?
unattainable. It's possible, I
That's
guess,
funny.
that Link could be struck speechless when the Triforce is acquired. I doubt it.
You had
though.
all the
Don't
other
believe
Zelda
any
music
rumors
you could
unless you read
use.
it here. I swear to
Too
my
bad we
readers,
never
if
got
the Triforce is
Inuyasha
ever found
or
and confirmed
Lupin
by our expert
yells in Zelda
gameplay
games.
counselors, I will immediately spill
That
the
would be
beans
funny.
in a special article. So even Ocarina of Time's English translator claiming that he didn't write text involving finding the Triforce wasn't enough to completely dispel these rumors. And of course, it wasn't long before people began hoaxing, moving on from just
It's a 3-hour
text-based
video.
riddles and complicated
thought no one would
walkthroughs to
notice.
actual quote-unquote
I like how
proof.
you noticed that
Like
pretty
this
quick,
shot
to be
edited
honest,
show the
'cause
Triforce
he's been
on the
playing it
quest
for, like,
status screen lit
2
up
minutes.
in gold, suggesting that the player had finally
I should try out
unlocked the
GoldenEye. I
elusive
never played that
artifact.
before.
The most famous Triforce hoax came from someone who
I think my
went by
cousins had it as a
Ariana
kid and I watched them
Almandos,
play it, but I
who
never
in
got to try it myself.
1999 emailed the Land of Hyrule, a Zelda fan site, with what she claimed was proof
It's a
that
classic.
she had discovered and unlocked the Triforce.
You guys know I like my
Ariana
pew
claimed
pew.
that
I
she
like
found
my
the Triforce around a week
like my
ago and
shooters.
took a picture on Friday, but would keep the secret
Especially
for a
since we're gonna
month.
play Fortnite
She
next
attached
week.
a photo showing Link standing in front of the Triforce with the Sage of Light Roru in the background. When pressed
Oh.
further, she followed up with elaborate clues on how she discovered it, involving pulling the Master Sword in order
I
to
don't think
access the
I
Temple
was
of
there
Light
for the
by
movie
playing a new
that
song
time.
called the Overture of Sages. Though many
was
people
probably
were
at work that
skeptical,
day.
the image seemed to fool a good
But I
number
remember
of
her
players,
playing GoldenEye.
and the hunt for the Triforce had never been more intense. Later, Ariana followed up with more clues and more pictures,
Ariana Grande?
showing Link playing the Overture of Sages and him entering the Temple of Light. However,
Well,
people quickly noticed that
Temple
these
of
weren't
Light?
as
No, you're
convincing as the
gaslighting
first
me.
shot.
They
Link's
used
sword
Game
is
Shark.
on the wrong shoulder in the screenshot of him playing the Ocarina,
They used
meaning
Game
the
Shark
image
to
had
get
been
that.
flipped. Ariana failed to explain any of the oddities about her stories and screenshots, and a few months later admitted that everything was faked.
God damn it,
So,
Ariana.
despite the absolute
I'll never trust you
hysteria
again.
surrounding it, nobody ever actually found the Triforce in Ocarina of Time. Even though it was shown in the 1996
She made banger
trailer,
music, but she
even
lied to
with
me
all
about
of their
Zelda.
nephews, cousins, dogs, stepdads claiming that they'd discovered it, an obtainable Triforce was just a rumor.
Can you guys believe I drew Zelda's
Or was
armpit?
it? Obviously,
I'll
now
stop.
we can go
So
through every byte of data on the cartridge with a fine-tooth comb and see
Yeah,
that,
Ariana, why would you do
there's
that?
no obtainable Triforce
Why would people do
found in the
that?
game.
like
There's
the
no
Arthur
Sky
meme.
Temple or Temple of Light.
You think
no
people would do that?
Overture
Go
of
on the internet and
Sages,
tell lies?
No secret chest in a locked room. But there was. Surely, at some point during development, it was possible for Link to find the Triforce in a chest. But there's absolutely nothing to suggest this in the final build, which means one of two things. One, the 1996 trailer was either pre-rendered or so incredibly early on in
Sniff of the
development that
armpit.
collecting the Triforce was never
gonna feel
really
weird about
intended
that, but
to be part
okay.
of the game, just some early eye-catching trailer footage.
Alright, here you
or
go.
Two, the Triforce was meant to be obtainable in the game at some point, like we see here, but was cut out during development. So, is there any evidence
hope that
of
was
it
worth your
having been
points.
cut? Well, while in recent years development
Okay, now
builds
back
of
to drawing.
Ocarina of Time have leaked and been
Now I gotta
scoured for new
sneeze.
information, there still isn't much that could solidify
emote
this
goes by
theory.
so
There's no
fast.
cut Triforce item,
It's so
and even
cute.
the room in which we see Link find it in the trailer was apparently just designed using Super Mario 64 assets, as
Wait,
it was
really?
built so early on in development.
What assets?
But there is one minor detail.
What assets from Mario
In the late
64 did they use?
1997 build of Ocarina of Time, around a year before the game's release, data miners found this. An icon of the Triforce, which fits perfectly on the quest status screen along with the symbols for the medallions. In
What
the
did
final
fit there
version,
before?
this Triforce graphic is rendered together with the entire menu screen, but
True.
here it's separate, just like the icons for the collectible Sage's medallions. In addition, while the medallions' file names are H24 Seals 1 through 6, this Triforce symbol is named H32 Seals 7, which could suggest that it was going to appear over the menu at some point, perhaps indicating that Link had found the Triforce. The sprite doesn't have any color values to save memory space, so we don't know how it was meant to look. But if colored gold, this is what the menu screen might have looked like. Again, this tiny image is all the evidence we have, so it's not confirmed by any means, but it's entirely possible that this was, at some point, a symbol to mark the completion of the most famous Zelda quest that never existed, the search for the Triforce.
I want to find a
The
Dorito.
Sheikah tribe are known as the Shadow Folk,
the yummy
reclusive,
Doritos.
mysterious servants
Hey,
of
at
the
least we get to
Hyrulean
see the
royal
Triforce
family.
and Phantom
Though the most
Hourglass.
extensive appearance in the series to date is in Breath of the Wild, where they exist as an ancient, technologically
spoilers, I'm
advanced
joking.
civilization responsible
Somewhat.
for the creation
You
of
never know.
godlike weapons of war.
The Doritos
the Sheikah
tribe.
have existed in secret for the entire Zelda timeline, dating back to the era when the goddess Hylia herself walked the earth. Until Breath of the Wild, we were only given glimpses of the Shadow Folk. The tribe are often represented by only a single living Sheikah. But during the late 2000s, there were plans for a Zelda game centered around...
Do we connect the Sheikah with the Tweely? Since we don't really see the Sheikah in Twilight Princess, right? I mean, we see one... Actually, no, I'm lying. We do see Impa. We do see Impa. But I feel like the Tweely might be like a reincarnation of the Sheikah. I don't know if there's a theory on that.
The Sheikah, set in a desolated Hyrule sometime after the events of Ocarina of Time. The existence of this project was the subject of rumours for well over a decade. There are forum posts from around this time discussing the possibility that Retro Studios had been involved in the development of a new Zelda game. Retro were the team responsible for games like the Metroid Prime trilogy, so this understandably garnered a lot of attention, but evidently no such project ever
But they
came
have
to
eyeball
light.
symbols on
This
their
was
architecture
until
and
a
stuff.
concept artist involved in the
I don't know,
project
I feel like
shared
I'm
some of
onto
his work
something.
online. It has to be stressed that
You're
the
gonna
artist
laugh at
himself
me.
admitted that this
I mean,
was
you're gonna laugh at me. You're
very
gonna-
early concept art.
I'm gonna
and he
prove
doubts
you
that
wrong.
Nintendo
I'm
of
just
Japan
kidding, though.
ever saw much, if any, of the project before it was shelved. But it is incredibly interesting. The
But aren't
art
they
is
both
much
the
darker and more
shadow
mature than
referred
we've
to as
come
the shadow
expect from
tribes?
Zelda, and the story the game was apparently set to tell
I don't know, I
is
see a lot of
centered around
parallels.
a fascinating part of the timeline that we really don't know enough about. So let's run through some highlights from this project's artwork, and look at the possible stories and ideas that this game was set to explore. The only real information we have on this game and its development comes from the posts by a concept artist on ArtStation, who shared his work on an untitled Zelda project that was apparently in the works from around 2005 until 2008, when it was shelved due to the project leads moving on to new companies. The artist deleted his ArtStation account after gaming websites caught wind of his artwork in May 2020. I don't know what the reason for this was, so even though it's already very public, I won't directly mention his name here. but he did work for
Or maybe he
Retro
was onto
Studios
something.
on games like Metroid Prime 3 and Donkey Kong Country Returns, which adds a lot of legitimacy to his concept artwork. And a leak in 2021 seemingly confirmed that a game featuring Sheik was in development around this time. The deletion of the art station does unfortunately mean that a solid chunk of the work is now missing.
Guess what it probably was?
Find
Twilight
the
Princess.
complete
I'm just
set
kidding.
of posts archived
Don't
anywhere.
listen to me.
So if you managed to download everything before it was deleted, leave a comment
Gaslight
below or
geeky
get in
girl
touch with
boss.
me on Twitter. I'll leave links to articles covering these artworks in the description, as well as an archive of the surviving pieces. But regardless, a lot of the artwork does still remain, along with the captions and summaries given about it by the artist. So let's piece together what we can about this game, bearing in mind that this is very early concept work on a game that, as far as we know, never really began development. And even if it had, it might well have been little more than a spin-off or other
you seen El
non-canon entry in
Puerco?
the series.
That is a very random
The
thing to
artist
ask me.
claims
I don't
that
know
the
what that
project
is.
was intended to
I
tell
have
the
no idea what
story
that
of the
is.
origin of the Master Sword.
But now I'm
Bear in
hungry,
mind that back then,
because that means
Skyward
pig,
Sword
right?
was still years
I'm
away, so
thinking
this wasn't a
puerco.
concept that had been
Puerco.
fully explored at the
'Cause
time.
it sounds like
It was
puerco.
apparently set to take place within the bad ending of Ocarina of Time. It
Didn't
would
know what that
explore the
was,
journey
but
of the
Momo knew.
last male Sheikah after
It
a
must be a
genocide
wrestling
almost
thing
wiped
then.
out their race. There's a bunch of concept artwork for this last male Sheikah, even one showing him holding a harp just like Sheik, which is a nice touch. Even more interesting is the note that this Sheikah man would have eventually transformed into the Master Sword. Another idea which was
that's
explored
pretty
later
cool.
in Skyward Sword with Fi, the spirit of the sword. There's artwork apparently of some sort of forge, which might have played an important role in forging the
It's a
protagonist
weird myth from
into
Ocarina
the
of
Master
Time
Sword.
about a
Perhaps the
pig-looking
lone
thing in
Sheikah would
Dompe's
have
grave.
travelled the remains of Hyrule, visiting these
I
locations
think I know what
to
you're talking
temper himself
about.
into the Blade of Evil's bane.
Was a video
It
about the
seems that
history
the protagonist's
of
cape
it
would have been
recently.
magical in some way. It's shown flaring
probably
out
look that
into a
up
shadowy cloud in
later.
a piece named Cape Transition,
Do
and can be
you
seen in
have
this
the
state in other
YouTuber's
sketches
name
too.
for that?
It's not
Who made
absolutely
that?
clear whether this
I'm
protagonist
interested in
is
saving
the
that
Sheik
for
we
another
know from
stream.
Ocarina of Time, or a separate Sheikah entirely.
Now I'm
His
hungry.
design is admittedly very different, but it could be
I
that
like
this
how
was
it had to
planned to
involve
be the
a pig.
Sheikah
I was
alter
right.
ego of a
El
different
Puerco.
Princess Zelda, or something completely different. The game being set after the
No,
bad
yo quiero
ending of
chicharrones.
Ocarina of Time seems to suggest that it would take place at the beginning of the Downfall timeline, after the Hero of Time loses to Ganondorf. But there's concept art depicting Hyrule and Deku Route after the floods dry up, which would instead suggest that the game would take place somewhere in the adult timeline, perhaps after the Wind Waker, when the great flood sent by the gods has finally drained. Again, this artwork dates back to long before Hyrule Historia and the confirmation of a Downfall timeline. It's very possible that, at this point, they were working
Most
with the
obscure
idea
Zelda
of
rumor
Ocarina
that
of
may
Time
hold some
only
truth
having
from Monster
two
Maze.
endings.
Okay, thank
one
you,
following
I
on from the game's
appreciate it.
events, where Ganondorf takes the
save it for a
Triforce of
different
Power
Zelda
and
stream.
seizes control of Hyrule,
Sorry.
and one where Link
Things
travels back in
paused.
time and
I'm
prevents
screenshotting
it,
that.
which would mean that in this
There you
case, the bad ending would be the adult timeline. This could be supported by sketches of a Dark Valu race, which seem to be enemies based on
That
Valu,
looks cool.
the sky spirit from the Wind Waker.
We
While
should have
Valu
gotten that
himself
dragon
was
people.
benevolent and peaceful by nature,
Where are the dragon
his
people?
ancestor, Volvagia, was
Oh,
not.
let me guess, that's in
so
Tears
this
of the
would have been a
Kingdom.
really interesting concept to explore.
No, don't answer
It
me, don't
seems that
answer
some
me.
of the game's
I
main
don't know.
antagonists would have been the Dark Gerudo, who planned to
Uzi
give
Ranger,
birth to Ganon
welcome.
once again. The
Hello,
Gerudo
hello.
are,
Hope you're
of
doing
course,
good. Hope
the
you're having a
tribe
good
of
day.
desert-dwelling warrior women to whom a male is only born once a century, a man destined to become their king.
We're brushing up on our
Ganondorf was born
Ocarina
as
of
the
Time
Gerudo
lore.
male sometime before Ocarina of Time.
We're getting
and led
informed
his
for the
people to
remake and what we
war
think it
against
will
the
look
King of
like.
Hyrule. The Gerudo are usually
Well, I draw some
antagonistic
Zelda.
to Link, but not truly evil.
I'm
So it would have
liking
been
how it's
great
coming
to
out
see
so
an
far.
iteration of the tribe truly dedicated
got some
to
movement
Ganon
going
and
on,
his goals.
some
And if this game was planned
dynamic-
to be set sometime after the Wind
dynamic
Waker,
looking.
by this time Ganondorf would have been killed by the Hero of Winds and turned to stone. So giving birth to his reincarnation would make sense for the ultimate goal
Oh
of a
lord, I don't
dark
think I can
Gerudo
handle any more
tribe.
lore.
It's also worth noting
so
that
sorry.
the Gerudo tribe are nowhere
Knowledge.
to be seen by the time of the Wind Waker.
I like
Ganondorf
knowledge.
mentions them and their suffering
and fresh
as a
lore
motivation
drop.
behind his actions, but we
It-
can't
it's so
find
true,
them
though.
or
He
their
released this, like, 3 days
descendants
ago.
anywhere on the Great Sea. And
Right
so a
after
dark
the-
Gerudo tribe
the
appearing
remake was
afterwards
announced.
might have given us an answer to this mystery.
I like
Obviously,
lore.
the style of this concept art is much darker than what we're used to, but we
As a
can see a
VTuber,
lot
you
of
have to like
traditional
lore.
Zelda elements here, like the
That's
petrified
like a-
remains of a Deku tree.
It's
Of
like a
course,
requirement
the
to being a
Deku tree
VTuber.
dies to Goma's infestation
You should learn
in all
other
of
lore
Ocarina
from
of
other
Time's endings,
franchises.
though we see the Deku tree sprout grow to
Or
take
your
its
lore will
place
be
by the time
ass.
of the Wind Waker. Its design here is really strange, with its face enveloped in roots. It could be that the artist designed it to be the petrified remains of one of the Deku trees we've seen, or something else entirely. Here there's what we can assume is Hyrule Castle,
I'm still
which rests atop a
fantasizing
high
about a
cliff
Zelda
overlooking
entry where Link
fields,
is a
much
male
like its
Gerudo
Wind Waker
son
appearance.
and has
There's
to fight
also
against
artwork of the
his
Kindler
supposed
fish,
fate of becoming
some
king
sort
of
flying
evil.
whale similar to
Next
the
gen.
Windfish, sketches of Deku.
Are you just making a Star Wars Zelda ripoff? I like it though. I like that idea. Honestly, I like the idea of like Link being Gerudo or other different races, because look at what we have in Majora's Mask. Or what if we change it up and they have different parts of the Triforce, where Link has like the Triforce of Wisdom, yada yada. Ganon would have like courage. I would like to see. Imagine we see an evil Zelda. Yeah.
Warriors, and one titled
That would be
Ocarina
cool.
Boy, showing a figure playing a familiar-looking instrument. But there's also a huge amount
Never
of
thought of it as a
completely
Star
new
Wars word.
ideas,
I don't mean it in a
like
bad way.
Thorntown,
I swear I don't mean it in a bad way,
strange, wild
Flint.
settlement on a plateau littered
It's a treasure.
with huge horns,
It's a treasure.
Rhinotaurs,
Because then
a gigantic
he'll find his father. He'll find. I'm dumb. He'll find the next Ganondorf, and he's like, I'm the king of evil. Then he becomes evil. The end. No, it's like Anakin. It's like Anakin. I'm dumb. Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
armored monster,
What is
presumably
this?
somewhere
Let
between
me
a
shut up.
rhinoceros and a minotaur, a piece showing
I
eerie
can't think.
ruins in the shadows
Godzilla
of what
broke
looks like
me.
a giant isopod, axolotl warriors,
I do like the
whimsy
idea, though.
wyverns, and a condor clutching what is apparently the key to a
Condor.
dungeon in its talons. Also interesting is a collection
Condors
of
are so
artworks
cool.
of various spirits, all resembling wolves or other
Seeing an
quadrupedal
actual
animals.
condor.
Twilight Princess launched in 2006 and heavily featured the idea of wolf
Dougie.
spirits, so it's possible that this idea carried over into Retro's Sheikah.
I wanna find that
project.
bird.
The spirits are shown in various stages of light
like
and
one of the most
darkness.
deadliest
There's a fully
birds. It
light
looks like a
one,
condor.
a fully dark one, and one in between.
Large
as well as a
Peruvian
cursed
bird.
spirit choked by dark red tendrils. And there's artwork
That's not the
showing us
bird I'm
ideas
talking
that
about.
we can only guess
I think
at,
this one.
like this. A bright white figure brandishing the Sheikah eye symbol, presumably the protagonist, facing off against a shadowy cloaked figure with tentacles in a cave. Or this, what might have been
My
a
Sonic
completely
Isekai fic
bizarre,
has Cosmo as a
futuristic
princess
take
planet
on
on-
Majora's Mask's
planet
Clocktown.
Green Gate.
Overall, the concept artwork gives us a
Technically,
glimpse
she
at what could have been an incredibly interesting
was already a
project,
princess.
set during a relatively unexplored
They just
period of
never
Zelda's
acknowledged that
history,
part of
painted
her.
in a style unlike anything we've seen from the series
She was
this
the
far. Unfortunately,
daughter of two
this
leaders.
is probably the only
Two
look
important
we'll ever
leaders.
get at this shelved
I
project.
don't think
Miyamoto
they were
has at
considered
some points
royalty though,
mentioned that
right?
They were interested in developing a
I would
game
say, like,
centered
commanders.
around Sheik,
Look at
and that
this
they were
bird.
open to working with Retro
Since we're talking about
Studios on
condors,
the
look at this
production of
bird.
a Zelda game.
This
but as
Peruvian
far
bird
as
looks
we
so
know,
badass.
This particular idea
I want to
was
pet it,
completely
but it's really
scrapped.
large.
The Zelda team are
Apparently this
notoriously
bird, like,
protective
takes
over
children.
their property, and very rarely do other studios get the chance
I
to work
dislike
on
that they
games
made
in
Link
this series.
right-handed.
This does mean that
Ever
whenever
since in the
we do
Wii
get
port of
new
Twilight
Zelda games,
Princess.
they're almost always masterfully crafted
Yeah, as a lefty, I feel
experiences, but we're often
discriminated.
left waiting years between main series
You know what
entries.
you know what annoys
I'd
me more about the Wii port of Twilight Princess? I can't fucking navigate that shit because I have the whole map memorized and now it's backwards. Like, I feel like the Wii port of Twilight Princess, you could only play it if you're a beginner. I'm not a princess. I'm a seraphim. I'm a fallen angel. Me too as a lefty. I'm a lefty too. Yeah, lefty pride. Let's go. I do use my right hand for sports though. So like it's not hard for me to do the combat in Twilight Princess, but it is hard for me to navigate the map since it's reflected. It's so annoying.
personally love to see more ideas like this Sheikah project explored.
They can have
even
a
as
few
spin-offs
children as
or
a treat.
non-canon entries in the series.
The bird,
Wildly
this bird, look at this
unique and
bird.
different takes on the Zelda universe.
We were talking about
and
condors
story.
earlier and I thought of this
Ocarina
bird.
of
Look at him.
Time's Spirit Temple
He's so
is found in
menacing.
the heart of the Gerudo
But this bird
Desert,
is so large that
past
it
the
like
treacherous
actually
land
takes children from the
perpetually engulfed in a
rainforest. That
raging
sucks.
sandstorm known as the Haunted
But he's so
Wasteland.
cute.
Passage across the wasteland is nearly impossible, the first major barrier being a river of quicksand
Tennis, I use
requiring
both
Link to use
hands.
his long shot or
Oh,
hover
so like
boots to
Death Note.
overcome. Near the
Like
center
Kira
of the
from Death
desert is
Note.
a stone hut with a
I'll
sign
take a
reading,
Dorito. I mean,
"One
I'll
with
take
the
a
eye of
potato
truth
chip
shall
and
be
eat it."
guided to the spirit temple by an inviting ghost." Without
Fencing
Link's
was fun as a
items, this
lefty.
plaque would seemingly mean nothing,
good
but
practice
if
for
he
other
equips the
students,
lens
'cause
of
not many
truth,
lefties
a
to fight
Poe
against.
becomes visible,
I
announcing
see,
that
I
it'll
see.
be your guide on your way, but
I'm
coming back
having
it
her.
won't play.
I'm having her father in the picture instead of being an evil prick, Dark Oak.
It'll show you the only
Yeah.
way to go,
Thank you
so
for the
follow it
check-in.
and don't be slow.
Look at that
Following the
Poe.
Poe
Poes are
allows
so
Link
cute.
to safely reach the spirit
I
temple,
should draw the
but
Poes,
like
they're
it
cute.
says, it won't lead the hero on the
I
return
like how they
journey.
spin.
But it's never explained who the Poe is, or why it helps people through the desert. We know that at least some Poes, if not all of them, are the souls of deceased individuals, like the Composer brothers, musicians slain by Ganondorf, who
Yeah.
at first attack Link before realizing he's a friend, not foe. But the Phantom Guide's identity,
friend
or the
and a
reasons
Poe.
behind why it helps travelers through the desert, is
I like
never
large
revealed.
birds like vultures. They're fluffy and kind.
Ocarina of Time
they
is
are
a game
cute.
about growing up.
Large birds
After
are
collecting
cute.
the spiritual
but they're
stones and pulling
dangerous.
the Master Sword from its pedestal,
Birds are
Link
closer to
and the
dinosaurs than
player
reptiles
thrust
are, aren't
7
they?
years into the future, into a
I used to
cold,
fence in college.
unfriendly, adult
Did find
world,
being left-handed
a
help.
place tortured
Should
by
I try
war,
fencing
where
then?
Link's friends are distressed or missing.
That's
of
so
course,
pretty.
Link has the ability to rewind time and continue to adventure through Hyrule as a child, but not forever. The adult era is the only place in which he can make real progress. To save Hyrule and defeat Ganondorf, Link needs to leave his childhood behind and face the real world. And for
Poor
me,
Link.
nowhere is this feeling captured
He grew up
better
too
than the small
fast.
conversation between Link
And
and
was
his
an
best
orphan.
friend, Saria, on the bridge leading out of Kokiri Forest. After the Hero of Time defeats Gohma and the Great Deku Tree withers, Saria is nowhere to be found in the woods. Link
That's
steps
not
out
good.
of Kokiri Forest, and the first thing you notice is the lack of music. Only the sounds of the
No
forest,
Saria song.
birds, insects, and
Most
the sighing
fencers
of
are
the wind.
used
Link
to
runs across the
fight-
bridge,
to
focused on the
fighting-
task set for him
most
by the
fencers
Deku
are used
Tree,
to
but
fighting
is
other
stopped by a
right-handed
voice
people.
from behind him.
It's like a cheat
Saria,
code.
standing with one hand on the bridge's
That's
rope
funny.
support. She says that she knew Link would leave the forest someday, because
Aw.
she knew that, somehow, he was different from the other Kokiri. She asks if the two of them will stay friends forever, then gifts Link one of
Yes.
her prized possessions, her fairy ocarina. Saria says that she hopes Link will think of her when he
Cute
plays it and
ocarina.
come back to visit. Then, without a word, Link turns and sets off for Hyrule Field, leaving Saria alone in the woods. This is
Well, that
such a
sucks.
tiny cutscene, but it's so powerful. While it is just a couple of lines of dialogue between two characters standing
They're so
silently on a
tiny.
bridge, it perfectly captures the sadness of Ocarina of Time, the agony of growing up and leaving the comfort of childhood behind. In a late 1997 interview
was
with
like
Shigeru
Cookie Cat.
Miyamoto,
He left his
around
family
a year
behind.
before Ocarina of Time released, the game's producer described the Forest Medallion as the Wind Magic Medallion, which
Poor
could be seen
Saria.
equipped by Link in multiple pre-release screenshots. He goes on to explain that there are 6 types of magic, including fire, wind, darkness, and light, and that these magics could be used in conjunction with Link's bow. It's well documented how the Wind Medallion went on to become the Forest, and the Ice Medallion went on to become the Water, meaning at one point there were medallions for fire, ice, wind, light, spirit, and darkness, or shadow.
Darkness!
The Ocarina of Time itself was added later on in development, and before this,
Foil and
the
sabers I do
medallions
recommend
were
for
used
people to
warp,
try.
as well as power Link's
Oh, isn't it like
arrows or
fencing
cast
stuff?
magic spells. Of course, the
Isn't it like
arrows
having a
powered by
black
the
belt in
ice,
fencing or
fire,
something?
and light medallions survived into the
I
full
wouldn't
game.
know.
The fire, ice, and light arrows,
Fire
but
arrow.
the wind, spirit, and shadow arrows were dropped. However, thanks to the leak of a 1997 build of Ocarina of Time earlier this year, we can find the graphics for these powered arrows,
year?
the colours of which match the beta colours for the medallions. So, at some point during
He was so
development,
ready for this
Link
video.
could use wind, spirit, and shadow arrows by combining the bow with his medallions. By changing values in the game's code, it's possible to see some leftover properties of these cut arrows. While they appear identical to the fire arrows, they have different effects on some enemies.
Two types
Just
of
like how the
fencing,
light
foil's
arrow
the most
almost always
basic.
results in a purple
I
rupee
see.
dropping when used
That's
to kill
cool.
an enemy, the wind and spirit arrows cause magic jars and arrows to drop respectively. And the shadow arrows seem to make some enemies drop fairies, but it's not as consistent. Also found in the beta build is evidence that every dungeon in the game would have had corresponding magic spells, not just the 3 that remain in the game: Din's Fire,
I used to do
Nehru's
saber
Love, and Faror's
fencing.
Wind.
Kinda wish I didn't give it up.
A tiny
Aw.
glimpse of this remains. The
I feel that
Shadow
with
Temple
piano.
must be opened with Din's Fire.
I felt like
but
I
the
was
only
getting good at
clue given by
piano.
the game is
But
the mark
piano
of the
class was
fire
way too fucking
medallion on the
expensive.
ground. Knowing that Din's Fire was
sorry.
once the magic spell of the fire medallion, this makes a lot more sense. Text in the leaked beta build of the game reveals the original uses of these spells. Ice would have extinguished fires, Faror's
Fire.
Wind would have apparently activated when in danger, the Spirit Medallion would let you transform into Navi, the Light Medallion apparently
could
would have been some
transform
sort of
into
attack,
Navi.
and the
But who would want that? Who would want that? I learned Kendo. That's 2 more handed techniques, of course. Oh, I see. Do you guys mind if I play the ads early? Because we're like about to finish this video in 15 minutes and then I'm gonna raid somebody. So I'm gonna do the ads real quick instead of like snoozing. Actually, maybe I could use all my snoozes. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be able to make it. And I would feel bad if you guys like end up in a ad as soon as I'm like raiding. I'm gonna eat you guys the ads real quick. I'm so sorry. Utilize this time to go pee pee poo poo, go get a drink of water, go get a snack. Yeah, let's just play the ads and get it over with. I will see you non-subs angels in 3 minutes. We'll just be yapping. No one will miss the video, don't worry. I'll be right back. Yip paw knee ads to get peach coins. Nani? Yippee cow yay. I wish I could learn Kendo, but nowhere near me teaches it. Damn. But for me, I learned up to intermediate piano. And then when I got to the point of piano where you had like a bunch of notes on the sheet of paper, I was like, oh hell no. I'm not reading all this shit. But then I was also like, paying $130 a month for this? And I was 13 when this happened. My piano teacher, she was like, she was actually one of my school teachers. And she advertised her piano class to me because she thought I had like potential. Even though at first I didn't really get along with this lady. Most of the class didn't. Most of the class had like the stereotype that she was mean. But she was actually really nice. And she helped me a lot with piano, even though she was like, pretty strict. Like, she would teach you discipline. And I think that's something you learn in a lot of stuff. BRB, no worries. No worries. I did a sword fighting in SCA, Society for Creative Anachronism. Took courses in college. I had an actual mean teacher, hated her. I had a teacher that looked like the lady from Jimmy Neutron. What's her name? I think she even had the same name as her. That fucking lady gave me detention for writing slow. I have one question. What's that dancing cutie in the middle? That's me. That's me. That's Peachy. That's... Yeah, I think you're stuck in ass. I'm gonna type it. Icky. Yeah. That's my human form. She be dancing. Should I make that into an emote? Would you guys like it as an emote? I hope Iki wouldn't mind. The mean teacher I had kind of looked like Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh no! That dumb dog make me look bad. Would be cute. Agile has been over for a minute, by the way. Oh, it's inconsistent for me. It says you're still stuck in ads. I'll give it like exactly 23 seconds. I'm gonna repost my going live one more time and then we get back to the video. Yeah. But yeah, I got to the point of where I learned piano on an intermediate level. And then I quit because I was like, this is too many notes to read. This is too much money for this shit. And I didn't really have like, the one time I had a piano concert in front of like 100 people, I did good. I did good in the piano concert, the first ever piano concert I had. But none of my parents showed up, so I quit. Pretty much. Some might be in ads longer than others depending on the ads. That's stupid. That's dumb. I did have my aunt showed up and I was grateful for that, but she was like the only person that showed up and I was like, I worked really hard. I was like a little sad.
Shadow Medallion would have made you invisible to enemies.
I definitely would like to get into piano again, but it was just also partially because it was too much money.
And the lost elemental arrows and medallion
Welcome
spells
back.
are among the best.
We're back to the video.
I'm pretty clueless when it comes to the code that makes these games work, so check the description for links
I am
to the
also
sources I
clueless to
used for this
coding.
section.
I am not good at coding.
Lord Jabu Jabu's disappearance.
Jabu Jabu!
Before Link enters the Temple of Time and pulls the Master Sword during Ocarina of Time, his
pulls
quest
the
is to
sword.
gather the three spiritual stones, sacred jewels held by the Great Deku Tree,
Those
the
look like
Gorons,
candy.
and the Zora.
I say
These
this like I haven't
stones
seen them a
serve as
million
keys
times.
to the sacred realm, allowing access to the Master
I've always
Sword's
wanted to eat
chamber
those
by
stones.
opening the door of time, and so Ganondorf, yearning for the
I think I'm just
Triforce,
hungry.
blackmailed and threatened the various races of Hyrule in order to try and seize them. The Gerudo man placed a death curse on the guardian deity of the forest, the Great Deku Tree, infecting him with parasites, though he would not yield the stone.
Parasites!
Despite Link's purging of the parasitic Goma, the Great Deku Tree succumbed to this curse, and passed away shortly after granting Link the Kokiri Emerald, the first of the spiritual stones. Ganondorf also attempted to extort the Goron Ruby from the Gorons by blocking the entrance to Dodongo's cavern, the source of their food, with a giant boulder, though again was unsuccessful in his attempt to take the stone. Instead,
I call that
Link
teacher
was
mean
gifted
because
it after
she
blowing open
considered
the cavern
lefties
and slaying the
satanic.
monstrous.
Oh my god, she was like Francine from American Dad. I can't. So I was called many evil names, and my left hand was sore every day from ruler smacks. That's terrible. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That's awful. Your drawing skill makes up for lack of coding skills. Yeah, I mean, I could always be better. We could always be better. It's all about time. It's always about the time that you spend in something. People always think drawing is like a natural skill. It's not.
Jabu Jabu,
I feel like there's no such thing as a natural skill.
Much like the one
Everything
placed
is
on the
learned.
Great Deku Tree. However, unlike the Deku Tree, when Link
That's
enters
just my
Jabu
opinion,
Jabu's
though.
belly and eradicates Baronade, the Great Whale is cured. He'll stay there, alive, in his lake behind Zora's domain. That is, until Link enters the Temple of Time using the Sacred Stones and the Ocarina of Time, and pulls the Master Sword from the pedestal, which seals him for 7 years in the Sacred Realm. During this time, Ganondorf obtains the Triforce of Power, and overthrows the royal family of Hyrule, becoming the new tyrannical ruler of the kingdom.
Cool.
Castletown is burned to a haunted ruin, Hyrule
had a rule
Field is
smack during
plagued by
2 years in high
ghosts,
school
and
writing
Zora's
with left
domain
hand.
freezes over
That's
due to
awful.
Morpha's presence in the water temple. Not only is Zora's domain frozen over, Lord Jabu Jabu, the deity who Link rescued years earlier, is nowhere to be seen. Large blocks of ice float in his lake, and the whale is absent, never to be seen again. Link can of course return to the past to see Lord Jabu Jabu where he's alive, but in the future he completely vanishes, and it's never explained. Zora's domain thaws out after Ganon's defeat at the end of the game, seen flowing again during the end credits, but we never see if Jabu Jabu returns to his lake. The fate of the guardian deity remains a mystery. Under the night sky, Hyrule Field crawls with the undead. When the sun sets, the Stal children wake, clawing their way out from the cold earth beneath Link's feet, an endless skeletal horde. The Stal children spawn in pairs, and only take a few hits each to fell. However, they'll keep spawning until dawn. If one dies, another takes its place. Something strange happens after Link slays 10, however. A giant Stal child will spawn. It has the same amount of health and hits just as hard as the smaller ones, but will drop more rupees when defeated.
Glad nowadays with
This
cameras
doesn't just happen for Star
happen
Children.
rarely in
Near
American
the Desert
public
Colossus,
schools.
Link can fight levers and gways.
Very true.
The levers
That
are
stuff
small
doesn't slide
green
anymore
sand
since we have
creatures,
cameras.
and after killing 10, a large purple lever will spawn. Killing 10 gways does the same thing. A huge gway will appear, again dropping more rupees upon defeat. I don't really know why this happens. It only works with these 3 enemies.
They look so cute though.
Levers and gways. There's a
Gway.
great video covering the
They're so
topic
cute.
by Swankybox, link in the description, but in the end, it's still a mystery. Some enemies just spawn giant variants for seemingly no reason. Along with the compass, the dungeon
None ever
map
talks
is
about
always one of
how
the least
Ikana's army
exciting
being
items
built
to
up
find.
of stout
After the
children rather than
build-up
stout
and
foes
anticipation of
essentially means
discovering
Ikana
and
had a
opening
child
large
army.
chest. But
I've heard
regardless
that
of it
before.
not being
I've heard
an
people talk
awesome
about
new
that.
item to
It's
use,
always unsettling.
It is useful, giving the
Didn't,
player a map to navigate.
I think you mentioned this, Flint. Didn't the Ikanas, weren't people theorizing that the Ikana army was Kokiri children? Oh, okay, not just me. Yeah, I feel like I've heard that from you or another Zeltick video or a different lore video.
The current dungeon. The map item is an aged scroll of parchment with a map of an unidentified dungeon drawn out and labelled. It has clear Hylian letters on the top in the 3D remake.
Also, I'm liking
but
how
the
this
other
Zelda
labels
art's
are
coming
too
out. What do
small
you
to
guys
make out
think?
from the model in either version.
I think
but
this will
not
come
on
out
the
good.
original's
Wait, why am I
official
like
render.
this?
The Hylian text is
I
translatable to
activated a
Japanese,
toggle. How?
reading,
No one saw
Nintendo
that. No one
head
saw that.
office.
I guess I
The
really liked
smaller
my
text
Zelda
on the
art
map
a lot.
reads things
I must have really liked my
bicycle
Zelda art.
parking, President's
Thank you.
Office,
It's just a sketch.
Off-campus
Just sketch.
dining, as well as SRD, which stands for Systems
can't
Research and
type.
Development, a subsidiary of Nintendo.
I was gonna clip
Mario
that.
Club,
That was
another
kinda funny.
subsidiary of Nintendo who deal
I
with
was going to
debugging
clip
and
that.
testing, and
The
even
moment is
directions to
gone.
the office building
can't
from a
type.
nearby train station. Most of this
Why
text
can't I
isn't
type?
something players can see in-game, only on the official render of the dungeon map item, but it's
We'll
a great
find out in a
little
few
Easter
minutes.
egg for those who take the time to translate it.
ba,
Occasionally,
ba, ba, ba,
at
ba,
certain
ba. I can't
spots around
type.
Hyrule, Navi
I'm
will
trying to
turn
clip
green,
something,
highlighting something.
and I can't type.
She'll often do this
I
when
know what
Link
to
can
do.
target
I know what to
something
do when I
nearby,
need to raid.
But in this case, he can't Z-target anything. Instead, Link can play the Sun Song or the Song of Storms,
Uh-oh.
causing a large, wingless fairy to appear. It can't be caught in a bottle, but is otherwise superior to normal fairies. It completely refills both Link's health and magic. These
Why
fairies
can't
can
I type?
also
Oh,
be
okay, now
summoned by
suddenly I
playing
can
the
type.
Song of
Okay,
Storms at
thank
Gossip
you.
Stones, but this is more
Thank you.
well known than the
That was
Navi
so
spawns.
odd.
This isn't the
I love
only way
having
Link
stuff.
can spawn fairies out of thin air. If he holds a Deku stick around groups of butterflies,
I cast ass
occasionally
bag
one
of
will land
holding.
on the
Why?
very tip, before transforming into a small fairy.
What does that mean?
It's
What do
hard to
those
get
words
down
mean?
consistently, but it's really cool when it happens.
Oh, the butterfly thing.
Have you ever
He's talking about
noticed
the butterfly
how
thing.
sometimes
Right?
Link
He was talking about the butterfly thing. It's so, yeah, when the butterfly lands in a stick, it turns into a
occasionally
fairy.
one will land on the very tip before transforming
It's
into
so
a small
cute.
fairy. It's hard to get
You
down
never knew?
consistently, but it's really cool when it happens.
Has Momo not done that before?
Have you ever noticed how sometimes
I feel like I've
Link's
seen Momoka
movement
do
seems
that
to
before.
glitch out very slightly? This is known as a critical wiggle.
But yeah, I think you need
and it
specifically a
occurs when Link
Deku
is
tree
on
stick.
critically low hearts and the camera is closer to him.
Not
Very
sure. We should
occasionally,
show her.
When moving,
Maybe
Link
she
will
doesn't know.
change direction for a single
It
frame.
would be nice, 'cause
before
she knows that
returning to
game
whichever
inside out.
direction is being input by the player. It's hard to notice if walking or running, as it corrects immediately, but if this happens
What is the bag
just
of
as
holding?
a player inputs a roll, it'll cause Link to
I don't
roll
know,
in
I
the
have no
direction
idea.
in which Link turned for the critical
Ooh,
wiggle,
speedrunner.
which has occasionally happened during speedruns.
Are you serious? I got a crit wiggle. I got a crit wiggle right as I
Oh,
rolled.
this is what you're talking about, Flint?
I don't know
Crit
whether this
wiggle.
was an intended feature
That's
or not,
funny.
and I'm not even going to pretend to understand the mechanics behind it. Having Link become slightly
Speedrunning
more
is also
difficult
an
to
art
control
form.
when he's on low health makes sense, and the randomness does make it feel like he's injured and stumbling. If it is by design, it feels like an unfinished idea, and isn't something most players would even notice. Few video game mysteries are as widespread and famous as the enigmatic L is Real 2401 statue in Super Mario 64. Found in the courtyard of Peach's castle, this statue of a star features a plaque reading, depending on who you ask, either L is Real 2401
L from Death
or
Note?
Eternal Star. Much of the mystery surrounding
Already talking
the
about Death
statue
Note.
centers around a playable Luigi, one of
Oh,
gaming's biggest
I'm dumb.
urban myths.
Don't listen to me.
L is Real was taken to mean Luigi
I took a
is
fat
in
L
the
during
game,
saying
with
that.
2401 meant to represent anything from the number
L
of
mentioned
coins
in
the
2026, I
game,
know,
collecting
right?
all of which would supposedly unlock the second plumber, to an approximation of the release date of Paper Mario.
Oh.
Interestingly, this
You thought it
sign
was Death
also
Note
appears
2.
in Ocarina of Time. In
Death Note
Dodongo's
reference,
Cavern.
let's go.
Link can read it to discover a riddle on how to progress through the dungeon, but the texture used
It's a
is the
magic
exact
item that
same
allows you
as
to
in
store
Mario
massive
64.
amounts of
Considering
items
how
within a
closely
small
Ocarina
carriage
of Time and
space.
Super
Coins,
Mario
gems,
64 were
axes.
developed together, this isn't
So,
surprising.
like Link's
But
pockets?
it's cool to see one of gaming's most iconic urban legends appear in Dodongo's Cavern.
Unused Zelda enemies have always been interesting to me, especially when they're still found in the files of the games themselves. The cannon-wielding
I was
soldier
like, why did his
in A Link to the
audio
Past,
change all of a sudden?
The bizarre Goron Golem
Oh!
in Twilight Princess.
What the hell was
and
that?
The R
Y'all seen that? Look at that. Look. I've never seen that before. Oops, I didn't mean to use that toggle. This one. This one. Okay, I'm stuck like this. Wait, no, I'm stuck. I'm actually stuck. All right, I swear I'm not angry. I'm just stuck.
on Gollum in Twilight Princess, and the R-Wing in Ocarina of Time.
The R-Wing.
Yeah, an
That I've
R-Wing,
heard about
one
before.
of the spaceships piloted
That I've
by
heard
the
about
Star
before.
Fox team, is found in the files of Ocarina of Time as a fully functional enemy. This isn't a ROM hack. This is actually
Yo, Peachael
vanilla
Sai really
Ocarina
fucks
of
up with my
Time
computer.
version 1.2, and
Why
an
is Peachael
R-Wing
Sai
is
messing with my computer like
legitimately
this?
present in the game files themselves, as if a miniature version of Fox or Falco has mistaken Link for Andros. This has been
That's
relatively
cool.
well-known trivia for years, but with Fox McCloud appearing in the newly released Super Mario Galaxy movie, I've been replaying the Star Fox games, and it reminded me of this interesting little detail in Ocarina of Time.
You can add the R-Wing back into the game in the Ship of
Discussion
Harkinian
of
version.
this unused
Oh, really?
enemy
That's
first
cool.
appeared online in
That's nice.
2005, poetically 7 years after the release of Ocarina of Time. Posts such as this thread on the Zelda Universe forums titled, "Hey Link, watch out for the R-Wing," announced the discovery by Sendamos and Jay the Ham, with help from Coolest Cool of the Zelda Coalition, and shared images of the enemy flying around Kokiri Forest. Naturally, a few commenters were skeptical.
I saw someone doing an oops all R-Wings randomizer where she replaced every enemy with R-Wings. That sounds funny. I feel like it would be funny to replace some... What are the bird things called again? The Guays? Replace the Guays with the R-Wings. That would be funny.
An enemy already present in the game's data spawns instead. So anyone with a GameShark device was able
Guays,
to
they're so
see it for
cute.
themselves. An
They're cute, though.
R-Wing really does exist in the files of Ocarina of Time.
I swear I'm not
it's
angry, guys.
possible
I'm
to
stuck on a
spawn this
toggle and I
R-Wing
can't fix
on a
it.
vanilla Ocarina of Time cartridge
Replace
with
child
no
with
GameShark,
R-Wing.
using arbitrary
Only
code
R-Wing. At least I'm
execution, a
stuck on my
technique
cool
that uses
toggle.
carefully performed in-game actions to manipulate
Rah.
memory and make
My
the
locked-in
game execute
toggle.
custom
That's what this looks like, I'm
instructions,
locked
such
in.
as spawning unused enemies.
Damn.
When
You
an
could spawn
R-Wing enemy
Cuckoo?
spawns, a small cutscene will trigger, showing the ship flying around,
That's so
a bit
cool.
like a boss introduction. It's obviously
Like a
much smaller
boss.
than real R-Wings, being only around the same size as Keese, but its behavior is actually
Okay,
quite
yeah, they could be a
interesting. It
Keese.
darts
I feel like
through
they
the
fly
air,
around like a Guay,
spinning
though.
around in corkscrews, before flying towards Link in a strafing run with twin lasers. The R-Wing can be Z-targeted like a normal
Zed.
enemy, though Navi
Zed
offers
target?
no information about it. Its attacks deal a quarter of a heart of damage, but Link can fight back,
Now it's just
using weapons
bouncing
like
every
the
time I do a stroke on
slingshot or
Painful
fairy
Sai.
bow at range, or Curiously, some items like the boomerang or Deku nuts for an instant kill. Interestingly, the Arwing has quite an elaborate death. It crashes to the ground and explodes into a cloud of fire that lingers for a few seconds. It even has its own sound effects.
I hope Fox is okay.
Sort of. They're taken from other parts of the game.
That's
its
a brutal
lasers
death.
use the sound effects from reflecting
He
Phantom
died.
Ganon's energy balls.
Can you only encounter the Arwing as
And
Child
when
Link
it's shot
though?
down, it plays the sound a Dodongo makes when it inhales.
The Arwing Queen shall become Arwings. All shall become Arwings, yes. What was
The
that?
Arwing itself is lifted directly from Star Fox.
Okay, well, adding the Star
64,
Fox music
released
makes
on
sense.
the Nintendo 64 a year before Ocarina of Time, and its lasers reflect that game's first power-up tier, one
Nice.
step below the blue hyper lasers. Star Fox 64 is
I like it when
essentially
games
a
reference each other.
spiritual remake of the first Star Fox game on the Super Nintendo, telling
It
the
always
same story
itches
of the
my brain the
invasion
right
of the
way.
Lilith system by Andros, a megalomaniacal scientist, and the efforts of the Star Fox team to stop it. 4 mercenaries led by Fox himself. The Star Fox team operates from their mothership, the Great Fox, but does battle most frequently in their Arwings, solo craft designed for high-performance dogfights. The game itself is an on-rails shooter, where the Star Fox team fight their way across the Lilith system from Corneria to Andros's base on Venom.
I honestly like that he
it
brought
seemed
this up
really
just because it's in
odd
Mario
to find
Galaxy.
Arwings here in the game files
You want
for
that sniffer?
Ocarina of Time at all, let alone
Let me bring out
enemy
Midna again,
Arwings.
before the stream
A forum
ends.
user commented, "What's an Arwing
Angry
doing
sniffer.
in Ocarina of Time?
Angrily
What kind of
sniffs
Easter
Midna's
egg
feet."
is that? And besides, why does it register as an enemy? Was it meant to be an enemy but was ultimately dropped because Nintendo decided it didn't
I'll stop,
fit
I'll stop,
into
I'll stop,
the
I'll stop.
Zelda
No one
game?
saw that, no one
The
saw that. We
user
don't talk
who
about that.
started the thread, Vertige, replied with, "This is either A, an Easter egg, B, a board coder, or C, a test
A board
enemy.
coder?
Let's face it, it's better than the keys." And though they wouldn't know it for years, their third guess was correct.
It was a board
In
coder.
2011, an Iwata Asks interview featuring Satoru
Iwata!
Takizawa, who worked as the character designer for Ocarina of Time,
Iwata.
and Kazuaki Morita, who worked on, among
Iwata
other things, the
mentioned.
boss animations, revealed that the Arwing was actually used to animate Volvagia, the dragon boss
really?
of the Fire Temple.
That's
Takizawa
cool.
mentions that Volvagia is a dragon, so it wriggles and undulates.
Yes.
I only gave Morita-san the dragon model parts, but he set it in motion immediately. He was confused at first on how quickly Morita was able to animate his design, and so asked him to explain. He said it was the same as the programming for Star Fox 64. There's this scene where another fighter aircraft is tailing
Volvagia is in
Arwing.
fact just
This
12
is likely
Arwings in a
referring
dragon
to
costume.
scenarios such as when
That's
Starwolf,
funny.
a rival mercenary team in the employment of Andros, follow closely behind Fox's Arwing during all range mode dogfights. Morita jumps in by explaining that he could animate Volvagia simply by adding the Arwing to Ocarina of Time and switching in the dragon for the fighter. And when you look at the two side by side, you can picture
I
it.
knew the movements
little
looked
cutscene
familiar.
that plays when
I just
an
thought the
Arwing
movements were like a
spawns
Gwei.
closely matches
But
Volvagia's
yeah,
own
they do-
introduction. And the dragon
they do have the
flies
same
through the air
entrance.
with each section of its serpentine
If you
body
turn this into a
following the
24-hour
blast,
stream,
like they are spaceships
then won't have to think
tailing
about rating
one
today.
another. For whatever
I'm
reason,
hungry.
this Arwing remained in the
And I
game's
wanted to finish
files,
this video,
even in the
so
release
next Saturday
build,
we could do something
even
else.
sneaking its way into the GameCube and Virtual Console ports, only finally
Yeah, that was
being
pretty neat.
removed for the 3DS
I'm glad he found that,
remaster. Though we know
I've seen this
what
theory
it was
before,
used
too,
for
about the
and
Arwings.
why
Well,
it is here,
theory.
questions
Easter
remain.
egg.
There's code
Right, it's
in
more
an
of an Easter
earlier
egg.
build of the game that will spawn an Arwing above Link when he opens a chest.
I'm glad he brought
Though
it
was
up.
clearly used as an engine test and to implement Volvagia's flight patterns, it still feels like there are things we don't know about Zelda's Arwing. Still, it's one of my favourite little secrets in any Zelda game.
I didn't know it
least
actually
because
had
it
a
brings
use.
two of my favourite
This is
Nintendo
very nice for like
franchises
game
together.
dev things to do,
Majora's
just borrow
Mask,
things
of
from
course,
other
features
games
the
to
Keaton,
learn how to do
Bremen,
game dev thing.
Dongero, bunny hood, and mask of sense
Frog.
together in a row on the masks menu, most likely a nod
I forget
to
we have a frog
Fox,
mask.
Falco, Slippy, Peppy, and Pigma. But that
Yes.
pales in
Oh
comparison
yeah, the
to
mask
a
in Majora's Mask
full-fledged
referenced
R-wing
them.
enemy lurking in Ocarina of Time's code.
I've seen that before too. We made
Thanks
it!
for watching this video. This was a compilation of a ton of different Ocarina
Yes.
of Time videos I've made in the past. Story recaps, theories, secrets,
I
trivia,
know some of these
Easter
sounded
eggs,
familiar.
and
He
more.
did
Of course, I
reuse
put
some
this
of his
together
old videos.
thanks to
Honestly,
the
I don't
recent
mind.
announcement of the
I don't mind
remake
at all.
of Ocarina of Time, launching on the Switch 2 later this year. I'm beyond excited for it. Ocarina of Time was one of the first video games I ever played. I adore everything about it, and so this video was something of a celebration of the game. And
It was
all
a
the
fun
work I've produced so
compilation.
far
I highly
discussing
appreciate
it.
you guys
If you like this video,
joining.
leave a like or subscribe if you
I
haven't
highly
already for
appreciate you
more
guys
Zelda
joining.
content. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.
Alright. Let's get over here. I'm gonna end stream because I am hungry. We're gonna be, I think, let me see. I think I want to raid someone new, if you guys don't mind. I forgot my music. Oops. Oopsies. Where did my music go? Can I put on Gerudo Valley music? Can I put on Gerudo Valley? Gerudo Valley. Let me search it up real quick. Gerudo Valley. This one. Thank you for stream. Get good food. I shall. Okay. I'm gonna take a risk and raid this person that is playing a Zelda game. We're gonna keep up the Zelda. She is, they're playing a retro Zelda. They're playing Link's Earth Awakening Bound. Oh, sorry the music's loud. I put it a bit lower. The streamer's name is Moaya's More. I think it's my first time raiding them. They're playing retro Zelda. Be nice to them. They seem very cool. They have a cute setup, cute model. If you're not subbed, there is a no sub raid message. If you are subbed, there's a sub raid message. I don't know if they're gonna go on for very long, but if they decide to end soon, join them for the raid train. Just show them that we appreciate other Zelda fans. Yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST. I will be starting around an hour ago tomorrow. We'll be starting in the afternoon. We're gonna finish up The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. We're gonna finish up my vanilla playthrough, and then maybe we'll see if we play more SpongeBob or play more Godzilla, or we try out something else. Maybe I start 100%ing Mario Party 8. Thank you all for the resubs. Thank you all for the hype train. Thank you guys for the raids. I highly appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.